What's up, movie lovers? Welcome to episode number 38 of Ready Play Movies, your weekly source for everything that's new and exciting in the world of entertainment. Every Tuesday at 6 a.m. Pacific or 9 a.m. Eastern Time, we discuss the top news of the week, notable releases, what we're watching, big topics of the industry, and the movies we love. If you want to write anything to be read in the show, send us an email to readyplaymovies@gmail.com or just hit us up at readyplaymovies on Twitter. No matter where you found us, please subscribe to the feed so you can get every new show directly to your device as soon as it posts. And if you like it, please leave us a nice review. This is September 28th, 2021. I'm your host, Louis Menchaca, and joining me today, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Troy Bracey.
Yes, we here. It feels good to be back after such a long time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's great to talk movies as always.
We're about a day late and $1 short. Actually, no, I take that back. We're a day late, but not $1 short because we're going to be giving you guys all the good news and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of news coming out today, boy.
Man, I was bitching about last week about how it was like the slowest news week, and now I got like the biggest news week ever, and like I just thank God because I don't want to do topic of the show. Because I'm just, it's too much to do. So
yeah, we didn't have time for it. This
no time for that. But you know what? Topic of the show will return in 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Yes. Next week is the beginning of the month. It's October, so we'll be doing the anniversaries.
Correct. So, wow, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So we'll be doing all that stuff, and I promise you, the topic of the show for in 2 weeks will be extra spicy. As a matter of fact. Yeah, I actually had to have the next topic of the show lined up, so I'm actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, I remember you talked to me a little bit about it.
Yes.
Yes.
So
okay,
we're gonna be good. We're gonna be good. So
it should be a good topic of the show when we come back.
All right. So, but in the meantime, let's just go ahead and get on to our impressions here because we actually have a lot of impressions to cover. So let me just go ahead and let's start off with something that we both watched. Let's start off with Visions, simply because it was like that's the new hotness. It just came out, and surprisingly, Disney decided not to do a one episode at a time kind of release strategy.
Yeah, that was very smart.
They pulled a Netflix strategy, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. You said it's smart, but like I don't think so. Like I actually think it's a disservice to the show because one of the things that Disney Plus has going for it is that week to week people are talking. The conversation never stops, and on top of that. The shows can the episodes can blend together like in your head like when if you binge watch and power watch everything what happened on this that can
No, I agree with you, but with this specific show I think it's a good move. I don't think they should do it in general, but I think with this specific show it's a good move because they're short. The episodes are 16 minutes, know. If anything, that'd be very, people bitch about WandaVision, being short. So imagine if, you have to wait. And also, this is the only bit of Star Wars content that we've gotten since Mandalorian.
Wait.
The Mandalorian. It hasn't been any Star Wars since the Mandalorian, so I think it'll be a disservice to... All right, we finally got Star Wars. Oh, it's only 16 minutes. What? We got to wait a whole nother week for 16 minutes.
Okay, I would have split the difference. If I were in charge of shit, I would have done 3 episodes, and then 3 episodes. Since it's only 9, I would have done it 3 weeks and just
maybe do something like that. That probably would have worked. But I think it would have been a wrong move for this particular show to just drop each week. I think that was like, look, it's 16 minutes. Because I told a friend of mine, Steven, I told Steven, I said, man, I was talking to him about how dope I felt like Visions was.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, really? They dope? Wow. And he was like, how long are they? That's like one of the first questions. I said, yeah, they're like short. They're 16 minutes. He immediately got disappointed.
Oh.
Because, again, when you think of something that's a bit short, it's disappointing. So then I told him right after that, but they dropped it all simultaneously. Then he got back happy. So that kind of lets me know that Disney did the right thing because I think a lot of people would have been pissed, but yeah.
Fair enough. So you only watched the first 5 and I watched the first 7. So I only have like 2 more left to go. So we'll just go ahead and stick to what you watched, and then we can do like the last 4 for next week.
Yeah, because I could binge watch the rest of them. Yeah.
The first episode was in my opinion, the coolest looking episode, and it's the perfect season opener. It's in black and white, and the only thing that's in color is like the lightsabers and the laser fires.
Yeah.
And it's got like that old Japanese anime style that I can't.
Yeah.
I don't know the name of famous directors or whatever. So like you can always say like a certain like Kurosawa or whatever. Like some,
Cool. Sorry, that's
yeah.
a perfect. That's a perfect. You know,
Is that the one? Is that a
it gave me
Kurosawa?
like a Magnificent Seven
Yeah.
vibe, like by director Kurosawa. You know,
So you can say certain styles. You can like insert this person's name and be like
Yeah.
this style. But
Yeah.
so I know certain anime styles when I see them. Right, I know
Yeah,
it because
yeah.
I've seen a lot of anime,
Yeah.
but I can never tell you the name of
Specifically,
the style.
yeah.
So like I'll be like, oh, that. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So
absolutely.
I'm not that much of a weeb. Even
Yeah,
though
yeah,
I
yeah.
I watch some anime shit, but like that was the coolest shit ever, and I gotta say I never would have imagined Star Wars in that style, and not to mention, like what's kind of funny is that George Lucas has had certain Japanese influences, like with like the lightsabers and stuff like that, with the Force, and so it's interesting that it's going back full circle. So
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
George Lucas took from Japanese culture, and then Japanese culture is taken from Star Wars culture,
Yeah,
kind of thing. So,
yeah.
what did you think of that episode? And
Man, that episode was just absolutely badass. It was
Yes.
like, it was so dope, man. Like and the thing that made it so dope is it is a blend of both. Like, cause in theory you would think that it's just completely just a Japanese but no, it's little things in there that still felt Star Wars. They remembered to still make it Star Wars. Like they didn't just come and just make it they like completely take over it. And I just loved the animation style. It was very unique to Star Wars, like for sure. And just the choreography of the fighting, and it was just really cool, man. I really enjoyed it. And for that to be, it's like they picked the best possible episode to open the show
Yeah.
with. You know what I'm saying? To start off with that type of animation, with that type of action, it was just fucking cool, man. And I
Yeah.
actually liked the subtle kind of story that was involved in that as well. So I thought it was, and the main character that was in that was just a badass.
Yeah.
He was just badass as hell, you know. Like the scene where he says, start the timer or set the coffee for this month, and it was the exact time.
fix this droid by the time this water boils.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
like the exact time. I was like, oh, that was so badass. So yeah.
What was the most badass in my book was the umbrella a lightsaber that was spinning. I was like,
oh, that shit was so clean.
That was like something I've never would have imagined, but like now that I've seen it, I'm glad I had it. Like I just needed. I didn't know I needed that in my life.
Yeah, it was just so clean. Like it's, and that's what I mean about it. It was creative.
Oh, when he stabbed him and then it opened up.
Shit.
Damn.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck, man. It was so cool and it was unique. I never thought of that, something like that, like a spinning like lightsaber. Like what the fuck? That was so cool.
Yeah, so I that was awesome as hell. And then what was really interesting is like how stylistic it was. It's not just like in the terms of like the way the art style, but also just the portrayal of like this idyllic town that was very reminded me of very Japan. Like I don't know, but they had like the droids in these straw things and stuff like that. And it's like I've seen that before, so it's so interesting that they sort of just had that little like touch, subtle touch kind of thing. So that was actually, I think, possibly may have been my favorite episode out of the entire.
That's my second favorite so far.
All right.
You know, my first favorite was I believe it was the very next episode where about the band.
Yeah, that Tatooine Rhapsody.
Yeah, I loved that episode, man. It was so good. It was heartfelt. You know, we got a badass cameo.
Yeah.
You know, in there. Well, really two cameos, and it was. I like how they twisted it. Like you thought you were gonna predict how it was gonna go down. Like, oh, it's about to be a fight, or they're gonna go fight, and it was something completely different. And the main thing I liked is I actually genuinely liked the music that they were performing in that episode. You know, like the ending when they start performing, I was like, oh, this is a good band. Like I actually like the music. You know, that actually made it better. And so yeah, man, I think that was my favorite episode.
See, I guess I'm gonna have to like sort of go a little bit off that one. I actually liked that episode, but the one thing I didn't like about the episop was the music. That's the.
Oh, you didn't like the music? Yeah,
I thought it was a little cheesy, and like for me, Joseph Gordon-Levitt doesn't hit that pop punk like band thing. He's like when he was
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah, that was
I didn't know that shit.
So like it tells you like the voice cast at the end of every episode if you watch the credits. Like the first one, like the person holding the umbrella lightsaber in the first episode was Lucy Liu. And then like there was like Neil Patrick Harris is one of them.
That's cool.
Like they're all like there's a lot of celebrity cast members and stuff like that. And so what's really like for me, like the first time he did the shout, like that high note
The
shout,
high
like
note,
that Fallout Boy shout that we all know what it
yeah,
is.
yeah.
When he did it the first time in the early episode, it just completely fell flat for me. But the second time he did it, when he was performing on Tatooine, it sort of landed for me.
Yeah.
But what really felt off about it for me was the fact that Star Wars isn't known for that kind of music. You know what I mean? Like you hear like
Yeah, but that doesn't really matter for me because it was like I think that's the whole point of this show is to and they never. I don't know if they ever did, but they don't never clarify if any of this is canon or not.
Yeah.
And I don't think it matters. I think this is like a just kind of enjoy it. You know what I mean? Kind of go. Just I think giving artists free.
Yeah, free reign.
Right, yeah, and I think that's on purpose. I think they literally, I know Star Wars ain't known for rock bands and shit, but that's why we're gonna do it, you know what I mean? But I guess you're right, the music can make or break that episode. Like, if you like the music, then it's like how I feel, and if you don't, it's like, so
no,
that is
I
a
like
thing.
the storytelling, and I liked what they did with the plot twist at the end,
Yeah.
and there was something about, like, seeing one of the characters who's known for being a badass just bop his head.
Yeah,
Like, I was like,
I love that.
It was
that
in
was
character.
like one of my favorite parts.
It was in character for that guy, but it was just perfect.
It was still perfect, yeah. And how he had, like, his microphone was a lightsaber.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought it was going to be a lightsaber, but it was just a microphone. I was like, damn, that was so clever, man.
That was so good, yeah. So, like I said, it's just like, it's like Star Wars. The Star Wars galaxy isn't really like known for being like very pop culture-y. And so like, it almost kind of seems like an anachronism. Is how it feels like.
Yeah.
So other than that, like I said, storytelling wise and like everything, everything landed for me. I like that episode. I still like episode 1 better over that one.
Now let me ask you something. Is there an episode you didn't like so far?
No, not that I can remember. I think if there is an episode that I didn't like, it probably would have been an episode I was just bored with. But
I didn't like the episode. I believe it was right after that episode. I don't know if it was the third one. I think it was
the third one was the twins, the duel, the twins that.
Yeah, I didn't like that episode.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that was the one I didn't like.
The one thing I didn't like, and the
animation.
I like that animation.
Oh,
actually.
you did?
It's like a new animation style that's kind of coming up on anime, where they get rid of the borders. They get rid of
I hate that. Oh
that
God,
style?
It just feels so like bland. Like it doesn't. It feel like just someone could sketch it real fast. It don't. You know what I'm saying? But but the animation, even though I didn't like the animation, I could have lived with it.
Yeah.
I just didn't. I just felt like they just was making up their own rules in the sense that these dudes fighting in space.
Yeah,
like
that was the one thing I was about to say. Like the one thing I didn't like is that they were breathing in space, talking in space, making sounds in space, like from crashing and stuff like that. There's no air.
Yeah.
So it's like that's the one thing I didn't like. But otherwise, the whole
twin thing.
The story of twins has been done in Star Wars and can't.
And that's another thing. It felt like so on the opposite end of the spectrum, how you felt about the band kind of being not really Star Wars. I felt like that was just too cliche for Star. Like a twin, and it's like how many twins have we seen, or if not twins,
both in Legends and in Legends and in canon.
And canon, it's like, oh really? Like they're twins, you know? So, but you know that was the only one that I didn't like so far. But the rest of them I like. I only seen 5. So.
I've seen. Did you see an episode where like there was like a robot that was like on a planet with an old man with like a bunch of other droids? He's like a bit of Astro Boy.
Oh yeah.
You seen that one? I like that one. I was like,
that was dope.
That was dope because I was like, holy shit, a droid becoming a Jedi?
That was fucking badass. Like I like shit like that, doing shit that's uncommon. You know what I mean? That was super cool.
There was an Inquisitor, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was fucking dope.
And also I think one of them was the professor. I think it might have been Simu Liu, who was Shang-Chi. So. Oh
damn, that's badass. Yeah. So this so far has been my favorite anime animation show that they've done. I like this the best so far. It's early, but I like this the best so far.
Did you see the one where like it's a girl like on a planet that's being like shown around, like this planet that's got like living memories, or
where it's like the score is going on. Like, is it a musical score going on in that one?
No, it's like she's like being shown to like this husband and wife are being married in this forest or woods.
Yeah, I think that's the one with the score, and then like she's like kind of bad that she chose herself for something to
be sacrificed.
Yeah, I like that one.
That one. There's that one. Okay.
That one, and it's a musical score in that one that is some of the best music I've ever heard. It's so fantastic. Like almost the score alone made me like that episode, because that episode really is boring.
Yeah, that one was boring. That was like my least favorite one. Is that one?
Yeah,
not because it was bad, but because it was boring.
It was just boring.
It was even it being short. It dragged.
Yeah,
I'm like, how much longer? Is this?
It dragged. It felt like it was like 30 minutes.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But the score was good, and I kind of liked the story.
But the ending was good. The ending made up for it.
Made up, yeah.
Yeah. Then there was that one, and then one episode that I did see that you haven't seen, that I know you haven't seen, is like this one weird ass episode where it's like a mystery. It's like holy
shit.
Like,
that's one I'm gonna need to see.
It's like a bit of a like a Mexican standoff kind of thing where it's like everyone's like.
Oh, that's a badass, man. I love Vision so far. They're knocking it out the park.
So yeah, that's Visions is good, and I like all the animation studios. I haven't, for me, for the 7 that I've seen out of the 9, none of them really fell flat from an animation style perspective. They all hit for me. Just maybe like I would say 2 of them, like maybe like I would say I liked. If it was just the music, if
you like the music,
if I like the music,
worked,
then it would have worked. But otherwise, that one and the boring one. Otherwise, they're just like 7 is the lowest for any one episode, but they generally tend to average between 8 and 9s.
Yeah,
for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So, anyways, we'll go ahead and move on to What If, and I'm gonna keep it short and simple. I think What If this episode's week's episode of What If was Party Thor. Did I tell you about Party Thor?
No.
Okay, so all right.
I don't know what Party Thor is.
Party Thor is whenever Thor grew up as an only child. He didn't have Loki. So
really?
You know how Odin adopted Loki?
Yeah,
yeah. No, well, he just gave him back to the Frost Giants.
Oh shit!
In this alternate reality. So let me tell you this right now. There was the fight that I needed to see that will never happen in the MCU because these 2 characters are heroes, and there was no reason for them to fight. But in this episode, Captain Marvel and Thor fought each other like ball out.
Well, hold on. But to be fair, in the first Avengers, we saw several fights. But we seen Iron Man fight Thor. We seen Thor versus Hulk. Yeah. We seen Thor versus Hulk. I think that's it, right? Yeah. So we did. Oh, and the second one, we seen Iron Man versus Hulk, and Age of Ultron, we seen Hulkbuster versus Hulk.
Yeah.
So it's still a possibility. Yeah. I don't know if it'll happen. But
I need to see Captain Marvel versus Thor, but this one,
crazy.
This one was the one that
was it badass?
Yes, it was badass.
Oh shit!
It was so good.
Because somebody came out and said Captain Marvel is the strongest in
Avenger. It was during an interview or whatever.
Yeah. So that would be a hell of a fight, like a god versus the strongest in the Avengers, according to them. That'd have been dope.
Yeah. So it was a pretty close fight, and there wasn't a winner declared. Because they made it seem like even though Thor won, but Captain Marvel said in the fight, after the fight was over, that she held back.
Oh, okay.
So
See, they pulled that same bullshit in the rematch versus Thor and Hulk in Thor Ragnarok. Remember when Hulk won? They pulled that bullshit where we didn't get to see who won because he got shocked or whatever. I was like, I remember when that happened in theaters, I was so pissed because the fight was just so good. I was like, who's gonna win this? And then they did that. So
they can't ever really have a definitive winner. So
they can't.
But what's kind of interesting is so the premise of the episode is what if he was an only child? And so what ends up happening is he becomes Party Thor. So you know how in Thor 1, how he's so full of himself, he's so egotistical, and imagine just that, but dialed up to the point where he's basically a frat boy. He's a fuck boy.
Oh, he's on that level.
He's a fuck boy.
Shit.
He is straight up a fuck boy, and he's clean shaven. He's fucking Goldilocks, fucking like a freaking Ken, or whatever, Barbie and Ken kind of shit.
Yeah.
He's so pretty and handsome, and he likes to hang out and just drink all the time.
Yeah.
So he's still got Mjolnir. He's still powerful.
Yeah.
But he just likes to just kick it.
See, one of the things I don't understand. So he's got Mjolnir. So how's he worthy? They
don't really answer that shit.
What the fuck?
They don't really answer that shit. But in Thor 1, remember how in Thor 1, Odin goes on his Odin sleep, suddenly?
Yeah.
So the timeline happens where he has to go to his Odin sleep. So he goes to Odin sleep, and Frigga just decides, I'm gonna peace out. I'm gonna go drink some tea with my girlfriends, my bitches over here. And so she goes to go drink some tea or whatever, like, and she just fucks off.
Yeah.
And then so Frigga tells Thor, "You better behave."
Yeah.
And then I got Heimdall watching you.
God
Damn. And so it's like mom and dad are left. It's like mom and dad
gone.
left, and I got the house to myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically like that. And so Thor decides, like, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. All right. I know they said no parties, but here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to Earth because Heimdall doesn't look at Earth because it's some backwater planet that no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna go kick it and have a raging kegger at Earth. And so he shows up. Instead of showing up in the desert where like Natalie Portman was at, he shows up in Las Vegas. And he's like, all the people on Earth are like scared, like, what the fuck? An alien just showed up, and he's like with the fucking Bifrost. Yeah. He's like, people of Earth. And he's all like very imposing, and so he's like, prepare to party, like he's like, what the fuck? And everyone's like, yeah, and everyone's getting lit. And then all of the people are like bifrosting in, like from like different parts of the space, like Guardians of the Galaxy are there, and it's just like a party that just trashes Earth.
God, well, sorry for everybody. Louis did his spoiler. Once again, he spoiled it again. It's supposed to be impressions, but he just telling the whole episode. Like, sorry, folks. Like,
hey, look, it's good. I wanted to go full on out because it was a good one. I liked it.
Is this your favorite episode so far?
Hell no. I think it was just the most enjoyable one. I don't even know. I can't think of what my favorite one was. The episode 2 with Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah,
that one is by far the best one in my opinion. Oh, okay. But like for me, like it was enjoyable because like the most recent episodes between zombies and like they've been depressing.
Yeah, a lot of people are giving What If kind of bad reviews or mixed kind of mid reviews, which is very surprising.
Yeah, so there's more to tell. I'm not gonna tell the ending of the party Thor. I think that's just like, if anything, all I just told you was the setup. It's like I'm gonna fucking party.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah, that's basically what ended up happening, and so I said there's a twist ending again. There's a twist ending that's gonna lead into the next episode, so that's cool.
Oh, so this episode carries on to the next one? Mm-hmm. Oh shit.
Yeah, they showed a character just show up out of nowhere, and it's gonna be this week's episode. So
that's dope.
So yeah, I like it, and like I said, I still encourage you to watch it because I think it's canon. I'm pretty sure that what happened in the Doctor Strange episode is gonna be part of the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah, that, and it makes sense too. So I'm gonna, if I don't watch any, I'm gonna watch that one mainly because that's gonna tie into a bunch of multiversal madness shit. Yeah. So.
All right, so we'll go ahead and carry it on to the next thing I watched. I watched Cry Macho, which is the Clint Eastwood movie. It's on HBO Max, which I didn't actually say on the podcast. I said it was in theaters because I forgot it was a Warner Brothers joint. So
it is in theaters too.
Yeah, it is in theaters.
So you didn't lie. You didn't tell everyone.
I just didn't say theaters and HBO Max. So I'm gonna keep it short and simple and say that it was actually a good movie. I liked it. I actually was surprised because the trailers made it seem like it was a deconstruction of what it means to be macho, and like they had all the lines about it. Was like, I lived a life, kid. Yeah. Those lines were there, and that line in that trailer was actually one of the last scenes in the movie. Oh, they gave that away, but basically the whole like the deconstruction of like what it means to be like a man or masculinity. Yeah. That wasn't even there. That wasn't really part of the movie. Oh, wow. It was just a drama movie about a guy going on a trip to save a kid from Mexico and take him back to the U.S. and he just forms an attachment to him. That's pretty much what the movie's about. And it's like the movie isn't about the destination. The movie is about the journey. So like that's pretty much what it's about. And I actually liked it. I think that the movie did a very good job of like getting you to care about the characters and connect with them. And the movie had like it was very slow burn, but it didn't feel its time. Like I never looked at my time like how much longer is this going to be? Like
right.
I thought it was engaging.
It had good pacing.
Pacing. I was engaged with it. Clint Eastwood at 91 years old is still fucking moving around like
that's crazy. That is crazy.
And what's kind of the only bad thing I'm gonna give, and this is just a bit of a not a knock against the movie, it's just the fact that Clint Eastwood is 91 years old, and so they have to have him do like fighting scenes, and the most he can do is just one punch. Right?
Oh yeah.
And so they don't really like they do these tricks. Yeah. These
like editing tricks.
Not editing tricks. They do situational tricks where Clint Eastwood can get out of a fight.
Oh yeah.
So something comes up out of nowhere and distracts him, and then that's where Clint Eastwood got his one punch in, and he can just take off.
Well, he's smart because he writes it, so he knows like, damn, I ain't gonna be able to do this. Let me. You know what I'm saying?
So so instead of Clint Eastwood getting to a one-on-one fight with somebody, like one of the characters like yells at like, "Hey, come help!" and so someone else comes and jumps them instead of him having to do it.
Him had to
so
do it,
like
yeah.
they do these like there was a lot of situations where it was about to go down, but then they write their way out of it.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean? Because
yeah.
it makes sense. He's on
He's
motherfucking
old,
91 years
he
old.
can't, yeah.
So I just think that that's hilarious. But I just want to say I see you.
And that trips me out. But it trips me out though that Clint Eastwood is 91 still doing because you got to remember he's directing and acting in this movie.
Yeah.
And anyone that don't know anything about directing and acting, they're both hard jobs on their own.
Yeah.
Like if you're just directing, it's a tiring job. Like directors be like, "Fuck, man." And then if you're just an actor, it's a tiring job. So for him to be acting and directing at 91, it's incredible. That's just crazy.
Yeah, he was born in 1930. It's crazy
Jesus Christ, man! Think how different the world was when he was born. Fuck.
Yeah, so I just want to say I really like the movie. If you guys have HBO Max, y'all definitely should check it out. Y'all won't. Yeah, I think it's a good time. It's a good drama. I wouldn't if Oscar season is particularly weak, then he's got this movie has to get a shoe.
Oh no,
Oscar.
this year. This year on paper is gonna be a phenomenal year. So
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if there's room for this in the Oscars. I mean, I think there's some Oscar.
He has a shot. Yeah. He has
maybe
a shot.
I don't even know for directing. To tell you the truth, like
Fuck
I don't
no.
know.
Fuck no. You got Wes Anderson and Paul Thomas Anderson and Guillermo del Toro in the same year.
So yeah.
But
this one's gonna get drowned out. I will say that.
Yeah, it might get drowned out, but who knows? All these movies might suck by all these great directors. Who knows? So.
All right, and finally, the last thing that we watched a movie together. We had a movie night. Troy and I decided to hang out on Saturday night and watch Night Books.
Yep.
And so let me tell you this right now. Remember how I said I always enjoy watching the movie, like the experience of watching the movie?
Yeah.
Like for me, this movie was that. Like
Yeah,
hanging out with
experience.
everyone.
And quick note, this is the first time me and Louis had impressions where we both saw the movie together.
Yes.
So,
oh yeah, actually that's true.
Yeah, we've seen the same impressions, but we never watched them together. Yeah.
So Troy got to come to my house and sit on my couch and watch my glorious 4K TV with HDR.
It's badass.
And everything. We saw. I even like dusted the TV.
Yeah.
Just for him,
it was
just to make sure he gets the best experience. I had the volume good. It was the movie was actually very well shot. Like it was shot very with cinematography that almost kind of looks OCD.
Yeah,
they talk about in the topic of the show we covered about OCD.
OCD
cinematography.
Yeah.
But it worked.
It was good.
It was good. And for me, the performances of the actors were actually pretty good. Like they, especially like the main kid actor, like the boy, he. There was this one unbelievable moment where he wasn't scared when he should be scared, but there were moments later on in the movie where he was terrified and he sold it.
Yeah,
there was this one moment in the movie towards the end of the movie where he's like crying and just like the tears are going down his face and you feel it.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, it hurts you. But also, there's also this other moment in the movie where. Actually, no. You know what? I lost my train of thought. Troy, take over. What do you got?
Well, it's crazy because you talk about acting, and I think it's a lot of things I like about the movie, but I think one of the things I like the most is the acting.
Yeah.
By these children actors, they do such a good job in terms of because they got to be charismatic, they got to be scared, sometimes got to be funny.
Oh yeah. And I remember what I was gonna say. But
for them to be that young and pulling all this off, you know, it was really good, and really they carried the movie because there's not that many actors in the movie. It's three kids, really.
Two kids and Jessica.
Yeah, so it's like that means they have to carry. That's a lot of a load. That's a big load on kids. So out of everything, I think I was most impressed by the performances in the movie.
Yeah. Now I remember what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say was the thing that really just set it over the top for me, where I was clapping my hands during the movie, was the part where they did the title cards.
Oh yeah.
And then they're it's like red and it's got that like scratch on the film. And he's telling the story. And before he was starting the opening the story and he starts reading the first couple of words. And I'm like, they better do a cutaway. And I kept saying, they better do a cutaway. Yeah. And they finally did the cutaway and it was good. Like they were on like this set.
And the thing is, remember you were disappointed at first because they did the cutaway and then they cut back.
I was like,
and it was like, they wasted this. And they could have been so fucking dope. And then they cut back to it. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. So that's good. I'm so so glad they decided to do that. I like how they kind of tricked us.
Like they do like the scratch. You know that scratch. No, but the best parts were the cutaways because they did this elaborate set where it looks like a shot on a stage, like a theater stage, and they had like these prop stages, like these set designs. Yeah. But they were fake, but also like it's because it works like a stage a stage play kind of thing.
It's supposed to be like that.
It's supposed to be like that, and it just nails it. Like the makeup and like that was one of the things. Like the makeup was good. The monster design were a little cheesy. The special effects were a little off at times. Sometimes they were on point, and sometimes they were bad.
That was the one thing. The special effects, like with the cat and shit, like you could clearly see that it's like CGI.
Yeah, but otherwise, like there was a lot good going for this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like there's more good than bad. Like there's just nitpicks, and overall they don't affect the story. The story works.
Yeah, I mean the movie. I overall liked it. It was fun, and it's one of those movies that when you watch the trailer, it literally 50-50. You can flip a coin. It might be good. It might be bad. Yeah. And so after you watch it, you realize you have a lot of fun. And I think it's really, even though it got just enough horror, because it's not supposed to be a horror movie, but it got like scary elements to it, for kids to be able to watch it as well and have a good time. And it's funny because I really had a fun time. Like you really kind of feel like it give you Jumanji vibes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So nowhere near a perfect movie, or not a great movie. It was just a solid, fun movie.
Well, now since it was a Netflix exclusive movie, does this raise the bar for like a Netflix movie, or what did you think?
Nah, I don't think it did, because Netflix
because I think it was a good movie. I don't know if I paid to see it in theaters though.
I wouldn't pay it to see it in theaters. And like Netflix, they could make these type of movies, like movies that are just all right. That's the problem, because they do mostly all right or bad. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like they don't have enough like height level. Like, damn, this was great. Yeah. So this doesn't. I don't really look at this and say, man, Netflix
doesn't move the needle for you.
This don't move the needle, because I mean, I've seen Netflix movies where I'm like, it was all right. You know what I mean? So, but it was still fun. I think if you run across it on Netflix, I'll suggest you watch it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's a suggestion for me as well. I like the movie. I found the movie engaging, to tell you the truth. I was like, it was one of those kind of movies where when normally I like say everyone comes to the house, I tell everyone shut the fuck up, don't talk. But this one we did talk.
It's better to talk. Yeah.
We talked sparingly though. Anytime we talked like to engage with it. Mm-hmm. So yeah. Yeah. Anyways, 30 minutes into the show, and it's time to get into the actual news.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
All right, so for news, we have the most juiciest news that we have to go really in depth with. Now, we did talk off camera yesterday about this one news story, and so I already know your opinion on it, but my opinion is still kind of bad. Nintendo's apparently real Mario movie stars Chris Pratt and Jack Black. So, there's Nintendo's making a feature-length animated movie that's coming out on December 21st, 2022 in the North America, and Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto announced on Thursday's Nintendo Direct that let's see here, timing elsewhere will be announced later. So talk about the release date about other territories, and yes, the movie will star Chris Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy, Anya Taylor-Joy from The Queen's Gambit, and Jack Black from School of Rock. The full voice cast feels absolutely surreal, with Pratt and Anya Taylor-Joy starring as Mario and Princess Peach, respectively. Charlie Day from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia will be playing Luigi. Jack Black will be Bowser. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. Seth Rogen is Donkey Kong. Kevin Michael Richardson is Kamek. Fred Armisen is Cranky Kong. And Sebastian Maniscalco is Spike. It says that Charles Martinet, who's the voice of Mario and Luigi and Waluigi, among others, is also involved in the animated film, Miyamoto said, and that we'll all be very upset if Wario is not in the animated film. Martinet has, of course, voiced Wario too. So, anyways, so that's pretty much the story. The internet sort of had like this meltdown, like there's like a mixed reaction of people just like reacting to it. And so I'm going to ask you this. You hear the cast, and What did you think of this particular cast?
Well, I'm mostly negative on it.
I remember you being positive.
Well, I'm mostly negative, but I am positive as well.
Okay.
The main reason why I'm positive is because of Detective Pikachu. You know, I think Detective Pikachu, because when you think of Pokemon, you don't think of that movie. Like that movie, it's almost its own thing, but it was still fun, and I enjoyed it as a Pokemon movie. And the way they kind of went about that, they did the whole casting, Ryan Reynolds, and it was like Hollywood, and it worked. And also, a lot of people like Sonic, that they did the same sort of thing in terms of making it big blockbuster, Jim Carrey in there and whatever.
Yeah. And Ben Schwartz was good as Sonic as well.
Right, as well. So it's been shown in Hollywood that and recently that these movies can work with these big blockbuster actors and stuff like that,
because the writing is suited to them,
and the writing is suited to right. So but the reason why it's mainly negative for me for a couple of reasons. Number one is like Mario and Luigi, they're Italian.
Yeah.
And so it really puts Chris Pratt in a lose-lose situation, because if Chris Pratt goes for an Italian type of voice or accent, well, then it's going to look bad, because it's like, well, you should have cast an Italian. Like, you cast a guy to pretend to be Italian, but then if he ignores the Italian accent, then it's going to look like, then it's going to just look like, you're not being faithful to the material. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lose-lose. If he acts Italian, kind of like how they are, then it's gonna be like, you should have cast an Italian. If he don't, then it's gonna be like, you're not being faithful to the material. So that's the reason why I don't really know if I like the idea of having this big, because Mario is not just, Chris Pratt is funny, but it's not just about being funny. It's about making the character feel like the Mario character or Luigi character, or else why are we even making a Mario movie? So I don't, and also, I've never been great with the idea of just getting a bunch of celebrities to, like, you got professional voice actors out there that can do a good job, but it's just like, oh, we want to, big names to sell the movie. If the movie's good, it's going to sell. It's Mario and a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just never been on board with just get the funny name, big name, funny name, big name. So, that's why I'm more leaning towards, I'm not cool with it, because it feels like it's a gimmick. It feels more like a gimmick movie than like, all right, we're trying our best to make the best, Mario movie. It feels like, we don't know if we can make the best, so get all these actors in there. It feels that way. So that's why I'm leaning towards,
It's easier to send like these big name actors to like late night shows and press junkets and stuff like that, because that's what it is. But like, in my opinion, like Mario, since he's like, Charles Martinet has been voicing Mario since like the 90s. Like, for me, that's how Mario sounds like. So to hear something other than Charles Martinet, it would sound weird.
Well, see, I'm not gonna lie, I disagree with that, only because movies is different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's done a video game, and video games, you don't gotta put on or especially for the Mario video, you don't gotta put on a performance. So to say like, hey, get the guy that's been doing them for the video games to come back and do it for the movie, it's a different medium. So you can't just say, oh, just because you were good at that, don't mean he might be good at this.
It's still voice acting though.
Yeah, I mean, it's voice acting, but like, how much dialogue does Mario normally have?
He's spoken sentences before, but like,
but I'm saying like sentences, and like, you gotta actually deliver on dialogue from a conversation that me and you have, and it's a different thing. So I could see him being in it, or maybe having but I don't know if it's like, all right, now you're ready for the lead role of because a lot of people think voice acting, like, it's people that are professional voice actors, and I don't necessarily think that just because you're a big name actor, you should be a voice actor, and that's probably why I got a problem with it.
Let me ask you this. Chris Pratt was the lead actor in the Lego movie.
Yeah.
And so what did you think of his performance as that character?
He did good. I think I really liked him in the Lego movie. I thought he was very charismatic, very funny.
And his voice acting was on point, right?
And it was on point, yeah. So that's why I'm like, that's exactly why I said I'm like, I'm 50-50 kind of. I'm not necessarily off board, but I'm not on board. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, only because of the roots. Like, if he was playing a white character that's from, if he was playing Zelda, I don't know, like just say he was playing
Link,
voice acting Link or Zelda or something. It's like, okay, cool. But it's like, literally that's part of what, Mario, like, you know what I'm saying? So is he gonna do Mario or is he gonna just ignore that? You know what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I'm kind of like, But again, like, I'm not all the way against him. Like, I'm not like, oh, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? Chris Pratt is a funny guy, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm 50-50 on
I'm
it.
60-40. I'm leaning against it. Like, I'm
about 60-40 too.
Yeah,
I'm
more negative than positive.
Right.
Like, I give only because of the Lego Movie. I'm giving Chris Pratt the benefit of the doubt. But Charlie Day it just seems like with Charlie Day and with Keegan Michael Key, like it just seems like it feels like they're going for like an exaggeration of what they are. Like especially with Charlie Day, like. We all know that Luigi's like very like nervous and stuff like that, and not as confident as Mario. And it just seems like when you put Charlie Day, he's just gonna be like Luigi, but with neuroses.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I think so, too.
That's how I kind of see it. And with like, when I think of Keegan Michael Key voicing Toad, I'm thinking like he's gonna be doing Key and Peele sketches, and like basically what Dallas said during Ready Press Play. He said that they're gonna make him Eddie Murphy and make him from Mulan.
Yeah.
Like what's his name? That dragon.
The Red Dragon. Yeah.
They're gonna make him that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I don't want that for Toad.
And I think that's what they're going for, because like one thing about Hollywood, they copy each other. So they're like, oh, Sonic, oh, Detective Pikachu. Well, we don't gotta show any faithfulness to the source material. Let's just make the movie.
Let's just make
And I feel like that's why I'm kind of like, don't tell me that's what y'all doing. You know what I mean? Because that worked for those movies, kinda, but
And then I don't want to hear Seth Rogen's giggle laugh as Donkey Kong. Can you do a Seth Rogen laugh or no?
I can't at all.
Can't? But you know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and that's why I'm saying I agree, man. I just felt like they went with big names. Like, when you cast a movie, and this is what I be having the problems with, this is the issue I be having with these kind of movies. Like, when you cast a movie, you try to cast an actor that fits the role.
Yeah.
Right? When any movie you make, you don't just randomly say, oh, this guy, and this guy. You know what I mean? You try to cast. And I feel like with these movies, I don't know if they're putting in any effort to cast the right person for the role. It's just like they're saying, oh, this dude will be funny. Okay, put him as any, mini, mouse. Oh, Bowser. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It don't feel like, I'm not looking at this and saying, oh, this dude fits this guy. So I don't know if they're just doing that or if they really did put thought and effort, and we got to wait till we see the movie.
I will say, during the gaming podcast, I was positive on Jack Black being Bowser.
Yeah.
And the reason why I said at first was like, oh, he's like, when he does something, he commits. You know, like Kung Fu Panda. He's got that just energy that he just brings, like so much fire to it, right?
Yeah.
And at first I was like, and I still sort of feel that sentiment that I like Jack Black as Bowser. The only thing I can't wrap my head around is that Jack Black's voice is a little higher on the registry, and like when I think of Bowser, I think of somebody in like a deeper, lower registry, like a growling thing, and I don't know if I can picture like Po from Kung Fu Panda being Bowser.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, since he's been a voice actor before,
Shark Tale, and
hopefully he try to differentiate himself from them others, like so he won't seem like he's just being them characters in this movie. Hopefully he tries to do something that's different. So
So, anyways, I pulled up a video here from Chris Pratt. He tweeted as soon as the Mario announcement happened, and so here's Chris Pratt talking to the fans about the announcement. Oh well, let me start that over here. Do I? Wait, yeah. Where's the volume on this thing? Okay.
Lift it up. Scroll up some.
No.
I guess so.
Well, I guess I don't have any audio here, but whatever. Anyways, he says in his regular, normal Chris Pratt voice, "It's a me, Mario," and like. It was like, and then he starts like, "I'm just joking. That's not what I'm gonna see now."
Yeah, that's not what I'm gonna sound like.
He said that he's working with the team to construct a voice to that fits the tone. Mm-hmm. He's saying that he's gonna change it up, but he's like he didn't reveal in this Instagram post or Twitter post or whatever. He did not reveal what his voice will sound like. He's just saying he's just reassuring everyone that it's gonna be all right. Okay. So, but yeah. Anyways. That's that story. We'll go ahead and move on to the next story, which is about Marvel is suing to keep the rights of Avengers characters from copyright termination. So,
What the fuck?
Disney Marvel is suing to hold on to full control of Avengers characters including Iron Man, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Ant-Man, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Falcon, Thor, and others. The complaints which the Hollywood Reporter has obtained come against the heirs of some of the late comic book geniuses, including Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, and Gene Colan. So, Stan Lee, Steve Ditko, we all know who they are. Like they're like the creators of the comic books. They invented characters like Spider-Man. Like Stan Lee invented Spider-Man or whatever. While working for Marvel, he was like the writer, and he came up with these characters. You know, all these illustrations and the original stories. And so like they were like, I forgot what years they were first hired on, but they are employees. They were employees of Marvel when they wrote these characters. So the suit seeks declaratory relief that these blockbuster characters are ineligible for copyright termination as works made for hire.
What?
If Marvel loses, Disney would have to share ownership of characters worth billions. So basically, the estate of Steve Ditko, the estate of Stan Lee, their families, like they're saying that there's a possibility that with the current copyright laws, those characters' rights for like Spider-Man and Doctor Strange will revert to their estates, and they'll be the owners of the characters.
But how though? Because Disney bought the rights to them. So how did they just go back? Like what the hell? Like
So Disney bought Marvel, right? And Marvel owns the rights to Iron Man. However, Iron Man was created by, let's just say, Stan Lee. Or Steve Ditko, whatever. As they're saying that the families, the surviving family members of their would get the rights to Iron Man because it reverts back to them after so many years.
So it just goes to them after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, with the current copyright laws, since they are the creators of that work, that character, that it's their property, and not really Marvel's property to have anymore. So in August, the administrator of Ditko's estate filed a notice of termination on Spider-Man, which first appeared in the comic book form in 1962. Under the terminations provisions of copyright law, authors or the heirs can reclaim rights once granted to publishers after waiting a statutory set up period of time. The time has elapsed, or the time is about to elapse, I think, in 2023, starting in 2023.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it says right here, actually, yeah. According to the termination notice, Marvel would have to give up Ditko's rights to its iconic character in June 2023. Marvel is facing other termination notices. For example, Larry Lieber, who worked at Marvel as a writer too, filed termination notices over creations in May. The heirs of the comic book creators are being represented by Mark Toberoff, who once famously represented Superman creators Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster in an unsuccessful termination attempt against DC. DC saved off termination by counterclaiming against Toberoff and asserting tortious interference of its rights. The publisher was represented by, let's just go ahead and keep it moving here. Actually, there's really not much to say because the story is pretty much explained as it is. Basically, in June of 2023, the rights to these characters are going to revert back to the original authors, not the company. The company Marvel was basically having the rights because they had these authors as work for hire. They were their employees, but now since the employees created that stuff under Marvel, it's been 50 years or 70 years or however many years it's been, it just come right back.
Yeah, I hope Marvel wins this lawsuit.
Really?
Yeah, because first of all, for a couple of reasons. Number one, it doesn't make sense. If you work for someone, you're doing all your work and efforts is for the company, right?
Yes, right.
So if I work for you, and you say I need you to write something, right? I'm writing for you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not writing for myself. I'm writing. So Stan Lee and them, they made these characters for Marvel, though. It's not like Stan Lee on his own made a character and it's no connections to Marvel, DC is his, and then maybe he sell it or something, and then he getting it back. It's more like I made these characters for these characters, and then Disney buy Marvel, and then it's oh, yep, well, you got to lose it because they created the characters. To me, that just don't seem fair. I know it sounds like, oh, okay, you're cutting the creators of it off, the original creators, they're cutting off. Well, business don't work like that. You don't just get to, like, because Marvel didn't steal the character, they paid for him. You see what I'm saying? That, like, Disney paid for Marvel, you know what I mean? And so, and Marvel paid Stan Lee and Ditko to write these characters. You see what I'm saying?
But pennies on the dollar, because let's be real here. They never saw like any residuals for movies or for video games or for TV shows or cartoons. Like, they got paid to write the comic book at one time.
Yes.
And they were pretty much being underpaid for what they were doing. But they basically created the characters, and they just were like, they were their employees, yes.
Yeah.
But basically under copyright laws, like, let's say I am a publishing house and you are my employee, and you decide to write Ninja Pimp. Or whatever, like just making up something, right? I was like you created Ninja Pimp, and then Ninja Pimp goes on to be very successful for me, and like 50, 60 years, or however long the copyright laws are currently in effect. After that amount of time, even though you made that character under my company cannot own that character forever. You're the original creator. You're the author of that character. So it reverts back to you.
Yeah.
So that's how,
Yeah, I still feel like Marvel should, because, okay, for a couple of reasons. Number one, based off what you just said, like, when these characters was first created, like, comic books was nothing.
Yeah.
So how could they ask for a lot of anything?
Yeah.
Comic books was nothing. They
were being sold for like 10 cents or whatever.
Right. They're the reasons why these characters are so fantastic in the first place, because they did such a good job.
Yeah.
But also, one thing you got to remember, though, they wrote for they didn't, like, Stan Lee didn't make Spider-Man that one comic and then that was it. And he wrote for years and years and years, you know, and as the characters got more popular, he was still writing and making up new characters and stuff. So, you know, he's responsible for decades of comics and decades and stuff. Like, I don't feel like he only got paid for when he first wrote Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what about the hundreds of years he wrote for Spider-Man and the hundreds of years he wrote for, I'm saying hundreds, but not hundreds.
The tens of years.
The decades
he's wrote.
Yeah, and him making up X-Men, and then him, like, by the time he made some more characters, you know, comic books was more popular. So I don't feel like he didn't get his just due. And, you know, in terms of not getting it for movies and things like that, you know, he did it, and that's true. But movies is a whole nother, you know, it's a whole nother business, you know what I'm saying? And they paid for that, you know what I mean? So it wasn't as if it was a situation where they stole it or whatever the case, borrowed it. They paid to do it, you know, and now movies has made it way bigger than it's ever been, you know. So I understand the typical way to look at it is people are gonna say, like, well, they're the ones that made it, so yes, they should eat off of it. But it's like, business don't work like that, you know what I mean? That's just not how business works, you know what I mean? If you make something and you sell it, to me, it's like that was the business, you know what I'm saying? You sold it and it's not yours no more. You can't say, I made something, I sold it to you, but I need it back. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not so much that, but like it's basically Disney's are gonna make the legal argument that they made it while working for pay. They're work for hire, like they were employees. So when anything you create while working for me is not yours.
That's basically what I was. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what they're gonna argue. Yep. And I kind of sort of am 50-50 on it, because my personal opinion is, on the one hand, I don't want Spider-Man or Iron Man or any characters to be under legal, what do you call it? Like legal scrutiny.
Legal, yeah.
I don't want some kind of rights ownership where a movie can't be made or they can't be in the Avengers because we don't own the rights.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that Hulk can't get a solo movie because Universal has the rights to the movie.
The publishing rights, yeah.
So like that kind of shit. Like that is like the one thing I don't want. So as a fan, I don't want that. But like as a person, I kind of want them to eat. You know what I mean? Like I want them to do right by them, but I'm on the realistic side of my expectations. I think Disney is going to win, because if there's anything that Disney is known for, is Disney is known for rewriting copyright laws to suit them. Yeah, and they've done it before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The reason why Disney still owns the Mickey Mouse. The reason why Mickey Mouse is not part of the public domain is because Disney kept on rewriting the copyright laws with Congress. They were lobbying. You know what I mean? Because like it used to be like after so much amount of years have elapsed, an intellectual property goes into the public domain. A work goes into public domain, and they were like They kept on rewriting the number of years. Now it's 100 years. Now it's 120 years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it kept on pushing and pushing.
Yeah.
And so this is not. This will be like another legal cakewalk for them.
Yeah, I mean,
believe it.
and listen, all the person that always has the most money got the biggest edge. You know, Disney being billionaires, they could. You know what I'm saying? Like you going up against a giant monster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's just my opinion. I hope Disney wins on this one.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm 50-50 on it, but now you know where I stand. Like the heart side of me says, yeah, fuck Disney, but like the fan is like, no, fuck you guys. You gotta let Disney do whatever they want with these characters because they doing right by them, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move on. By the way, I'm just surprised that Troy never heard about that story. It was just like that was a big story that was trending.
Yeah,
last week.
that one flew by my mind. I didn't know nothing about that one.
So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This one's also from the Hollywood Reporter. Change that is long overdue. Why the IATSE may call for a strike. So workers in the 150,000 member Hollywood Crafts Union are frustrated with low pay and marathon workdays that are no longer viewed as a badge of honor, while asking for stricter penalties for missed meal breaks and greater compensation for streaming projects. So Iatsc, or I'm gonna go with Iatsc because I don't even know what's how to pronounce that. I don't even know if they just go with IATSE, but just to make it easier for me, I'm just gonna say Iatsc. On September 18th, an industry power brokers were getting ready for the Primetime Emmy Awards telecast. An estimated 2,800 crafts workers in the local 700, which represented Hollywood editors, participated in a roughly 4-hour remote call to discuss options if the umbrella union, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, were to call on tens of thousands of its 150,000 members to strike. At least one other local held a similar call over the awards weekend. Iatsc, which represents crew members including grips, cinematographers, editors, costumers, hairstylists, and more, informed on September 20th that it would hold a nationwide strike authorization vote. No date was disclosed amid increasingly strained contract negotiations with producers. 13 West Coast locals have been negotiating their next 3-year film and television contracts with the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, or AMPTP, which is in stops and starts for months after producers declined to respond to the latest proposal. Union leaders, led by Iatsc President Matthew Loeb, promised to push for change that is long overdue in this industry. And the AMPTP countered that it has presented a comprehensive proposal that the union walked away from. Iatsc is currently negotiating its theatrical and television motion pictures area standard agreements. Oh my God, this is a lot of legal mumbo jumbo. But I'm gonna go ahead and TLDR this hoe. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Iatsc, they obviously, as I stated, they're a union. They have editors, they have cinematographers, they have hairstylists, they have costumers in their membership. So they are trying to negotiate for better working conditions and better pay. Because in case you don't know this, a lot of Hollywood produced stuff, whether it be TV or movies, they have like 18-hour work days.
Yep, yeah.
Long days, just grueling hours. It's crunch all the time. So they are saying, fuck that. We need a better work-life balance. You know, let me have a, time to sleep. Like they're saying, like we need like either a shorter work days or higher pay, or both. Like that kind of stuff. So they are basically, there was a situation, and I don't know if it was just mentioned in this article specifically, but there was a situation where the president, his name was Matthew Loeb, as I said in this article, Matthew Loeb, the president of Iatsc, he was given authorization to vote for a strike. So it's not that he's not saying that I'm going to call a strike. He got permission from his constituents to have the power to call for a strike. So basically, a strike is only going to be used because negotiations have failed. Our demands weren't met. Yeah. We're not happy with these terms. So a strike is going to happen. And if a strike were to happen, it would literally shut down every production, like from Hollywood and like TV shows, movies, everything. Yeah. Like it would basically force everything to stop. We had a writer's strike happen about, 13 years ago, back in 2008. When the writer's strike happened, it affected so many productions. All these shows got their what do you call it? They got their seasons cut short and kneecapped. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure the writer's strikes had like this long-lasting impact on Hollywood, maybe even to this day, for all I know. So, what do you think about this news about a strike possibly happening like, of this kind of magnitude? And do you agree with it?
I hope they get their money. Yeah, I agree with it. Because and listen, it's such a privilege for all these artists to get the jobs they have. So I'm not saying, oh, boo hoo, you know what I'm saying? Worries me. You're a cinematographer for a living. You know what I mean? You get to do hair and makeup for a living. Wow, boo hoo. But the reason why I hope they succeed is because, actors, they also work 18 hours. Directors also work 18 hours nights and
Correct.
days. But guess what? They getting $10 million and $5 million a movie. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's funny because if you listen to any director, any producer, anyone talk about their movie, they talk about how important the hair and makeup artist is, how important the costume designer is.
There's so much like what do you call it when they do the Oscar nominees and stuff like the work is so crucial.
It's crucial. It's so important. Well, if it's so damn important, pay them like you pay an actor. And listen, here's the thing. I'm not saying pay them like you pay an actor, but pay them something more than what they're getting paid.
Yeah.
If there's actors out there that could star in a movie for $10 million just to act, you know what I'm saying? Then get this person that's very important that do their hair and makeup every day, or get this person that does, the lighting every day, pay them well as well, especially because they got to do the same 18 hours as that actor or that director or whatever the case, or like they were saying, short their days, but it's not right for you to say, hey, come work just as hard as me, but don't get nowhere near the money I make. That's wrong. So I understand that, and really, if you think about it, a lot of the bulk of the hard work, is the crew. Yeah. The actors got the easiest job. They go out there and act, but the crew got to set up everything. They got to do the hair and makeup at a certain time. They got to,
operate the equipment.
They got to get the equipment right.
All the tripods and
the setups, the tents. They have to do all of this stuff. So if they're gonna have to work this hard for the same type of hours that a lot of these, producers and directors and actors and stuff like that, then pay them more. Pay them more. So I ain't gonna say how much they should get paid because I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I know, but if they feel like they need more or they feel like they need less hours, whatever they feel like they need, because they work just as hard as anyone else.
So I got extra articles here. I'm not going to read the articles, by the way, because there has been I found 5-6 articles on this Iatsc situation and I couldn't pick from. So I actually just pulled up on the doc. And so I went ahead and I want to read you guys a couple of things here. Iatsc members, they brace for a possible strike. And there's a quote in this headline that says, "There's no logical reason for to work crews to death." So, and then there's this other article that's also from Variety that says here, film crews have worked 14-hour days or longer for generations. For many workers, those hours have been a badge of honor, proof of superior stamina and commitment to the craft. But that attitude has shifted significantly in recent years. Quote, "The culture of the entire country is changing in terms of work-life balance," says John Lindley, the president of the Cinematographers Guild. People realize that lives are as important to them as their work. So it's an ongoing problem, and it's not really been addressed, Lindley told Variety. And it says here, people got used to these insane hours, and they got used to those paychecks. Quality of life is something you think about when you're older, and when you've gotten divorced and you don't know your kids. When you've gotten divorced and you don't know your kids. That's fucked up. That's crazy. He says that the union didn't prioritize the issue because major concerns at the time was runaway production. Labor leaders worried that restricting schedules would give productions one more excuse to flee to Canada or Europe, he explains. So yeah, that's actually an interesting thought process, because if our labor laws change here in the U.S., productions are going to go to New Zealand. They're going to go to Europe. They're going to go wherever.
Yeah.
So that's just another thing to think about. It's part of the reason why Apple doesn't manufacture iPhones here in the U.S. is because of labor laws. China, they work the Chinese labor to death, basically, if you know about the iPhone production situation. Yeah. But that's an interesting thing to think about. It's Yeah, it is a situation where pay them more, but also it would be at the cost of jobs because producers would find a way to make these productions cheaper.
Yeah, and the thing is, and what's so frustrating about this is like these strikes are the very last option for them. It's like, well, we've tried to negotiate, and this is our last thing. This is our last hope of trying to get a change, and it should never come to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Hollywood shouldn't be so greedy. You know what I mean? Like if people are saying that they need raises or they need some kind of time short, don't treat them like, oh no you don't, and keep it. They shouldn't have to go on a strike for all of Hollywood
To be heard.
To be heard. Yeah. Yes, like just help them. Just do go above and beyond. It's funny how people can be so fake in these award shows, like you mentioned, or in interviews they talk about how
Thank you to the cast and crew.
Thank you for the crew and all this, but then when they need some money, it's like, yeah, fuck y'all. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Thank you to my team.
Yeah, they shouldn't have to do all this.
So I'm going to go ahead and continue because this article actually is really interesting. It says, the irony is that in most countries, they won't tolerate these work hours, he says. That is interesting to think about. Yeah, labor laws. For many, the pandemic brought a fresh perspective and new urgency to this issue. Production was shut down for months, and when it returned, the unions pushed a 10-hour workday, previously unheard of, to protect crews' immune systems. That didn't last long, but it suggested that the real change was possible. If COVID has taught us something, is that we need to pause and rethink how we're doing a lot of things, says Katie Sponseller, a production coordinator. It doesn't have to be this way. Much of the energy behind the issue has come from younger workers who are less inclined to see arduous or abusive conditions as a necessary rite of passage. Quote, that's how people are weeded out, Sponseller says. Quote, we're asking for who can mentally put themselves through a certain amount of torture for however long. Damn. Anyways, I'm going to leave the article there. I'll put the links to these articles in the show notes as well. This is an interesting issue that is very complicated, and if there is a strike, we will report on it. And if there is a strike, prepare to see a lot more reality shows because those don't require as much production value. Like you can just put like a camera in a house and call it the real world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Pretty much, yeah. For sure.
But yeah, so that's what happened in the writer's strike. Is that there was no writers, so more reality shows just kind of went
booming.
So yeah, that's that article. So we'll go ahead and keep it moving on to the next one. It says here, Disney CEO. He says in his quote, talent deals are undergoing a reset after Scarlett Johansson's lawsuit. Bob Chapek, man, you don't know when to shut the fuck up.
Bob Chapek is an idiot. Like, we just gotta go ahead and call it how we see it. He's an idiot. If he really said that, that's just dumb.
All right, is it an admission of guilt?
To say that, because why do you need to change something? If you didn't do Scarlett Johansson wrong, then what you need to change? Like,
all right,
goofball. Like,
all right, here we go. There's a bit of a reset that's going on right now, and ultimately we'll think about that as we do our future talent deals. Bob Chapek said at an investor conference. In light of the ongoing legal battle between Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson and Disney. Disney CEO Bob Chapek said that the standards for talent deals are undergoing a reset, and future agreements will need to take into account the changes to movie release windows accelerated by the pandemic. Speaking to Goldman Sachs on Tuesday, Chapek did not explicitly mention Johansson or her lawsuit, but referred to deals cut 3 or 4 years ago on films made during that time that got launched during the middle of the pandemic. Quote, we've got a deal that's conceived under a certain set of conditions that actually results in a movie that's being released in a completely different set. So there's a bit of a reset that's going on right now. And ultimately, we'll think about that as we do future talent deals and plan for that and make sure that that's incorporated, Chapek said. But right now, we're sort of in the middle of we're sort of in this middle position where we're trying to do right by the talent. I think the talent's trying to do right by us, and we're just sort of figuring out how to bridge the gap. So Johansson's lawsuit, first filed in late July, alleged that Disney breached her contract when it released Black Widow on Disney+, thereby impacting their agreement for the film to have a theatrical releases and diminishing the actress's box office base compensation. Disney has countered that it fulfilled its theatrical obligation by releasing Black Widow on 9,000 screens in the U.S. and has said that the film outgrossed their other Marvel movies. So, anyways, basically, Bob Chapek just said that we need to rewrite our contracts. Like that's like he said that we wrote these contracts with a certain set of circumstances, but now when it came to release time, those circumstances have changed. That's not Scarlett Johansson's problem.
Well,
You know
see,
what I mean?
like, and here's the thing, like, I wouldn't have a problem with that quote if he paid Scarlett Johansson already. Because here's the thing, like, Scarlett Johansson deal is atrocious. You know, like a lot of people forget about that. Like, she is definitely getting overpaid. You know what I'm saying? You know, that is one thing that is true. But at the end of the day, like I just talked about Marvel with the rights thing to the characters. It's like business is business. A deal is a deal. Scarlett Johansson, you get when you negotiate.
Yeah.
She's getting way overpaid. You know what I'm saying? She should not be getting that much money. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she already got $20 million and even if they only give her $50 million, that's $70 million. That's a whole production budget for a film. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure they wanted more than that. I think they said something like $100 million or some shit. So don't get me wrong, she's way overpaid, but that's what's in her contract.
Yeah.
So if you paid her whatever she get paid, and then say, look, we got fucked over because we paid one actor $70 million or $100 million. We need to, going forward, need to change this, blah, blah, blah. But you can't, on one hand, say, oh, we're not paying you. But then on the other hand, say, oh, we need to change because now you're admitting you're guilty by not paying her. You see what I'm saying? So, like, you can't have it both ways. You got to either pay this girl the money that she's way overly getting paid for, like way overpaid. But at the end of the day, y'all made that fucking contract with her, which was ridiculous, but y'all made that contract with her. Pay her and then come back and say, look, we need to change this shit. We can't be paying actors that much money. Even I don't care if they produce it. I don't care what. They don't need $70 million for one film. You see what I'm saying? So then I would have been cool with it. But to try to not pay this woman what she, negotiated, but then come out and make a statement like this, you're kicking yourself in your own ass and you look ridiculous.
Yeah, Bob Chapek, man. Bob Chapek is gonna Bob Chapek at this point, and it is kind of seems like an interesting thing to consider that he could. I don't know what he was thinking, to tell you the truth, about how
I don't know either.
How he was gonna how else was this gonna be construed? Is he just trying to say, oh yeah, well we need to take streaming into consideration, so we need to rewrite everyone's contracts? I mean, no shit, you do.
Yeah, no shit.
But also, you're literally talking about this during a time when your contracts are in dispute.
Well, yeah, and
So
why even talk about it now? I could see you telling that to your board or something privately, but why would you come out and say this
during a public investor call?
This dude, it trips me how stupid he is. Like, Jesus Christ, man. What an idiot.
So yeah, we had 4 juicy ass news stories that we covered there, and that's we're gonna go ahead and move on to the extra news. And with the extra news, one of these admittedly could have been top news, but there was just too much news to it for it to make it the cut. So, extra news, there are 8 items on the list. Number 1, Star Wars Andor wraps shooting and will be the longest season of any Star Wars show. Number 2, The Boys R-rated spinoff series gets the official green light. Number 3, the first image of the Last of Us HBO series has been released. And if you are a YouTube video watcher, I will go ahead and put the image up on screen for you guys to see it. But real talk, this kind of does look like Joel and Ellie, straight up. This almost looks like
right out of the game.
This looks like a still from the game, straight up.
Yeah.
But now we got to see it. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. Number 4, Fantastic Beasts 3 is titled Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore and has a release date of April 15th, 2022. Number 5, Fast and Furious 10 and 11 is one story broken up into 2 parts.
Oh God.
They're doing this is not a novel where they can take the last book of the novel and break it into 2, but that's what they're doing. So, at least Justin Lin is directing them.
Yeah, but didn't he just direct his last one? It
9.
don't fucking matter. That shit was the worst movie in the whole franchise.
Number 6, Daniel Craig thinks that Bond should not be played by a woman. Are we not going to cancel him? Number 7. Johnny Depp addresses cancel culture. Said, quote, "No one is safe, not one of you." And number 8, box office report. This is a long one. Shang-Chi stayed at number 1 for a 4th week in a row and it surpassed Black Widow, making it the highest grossing film at the domestic box office. And it ties with Black Panther and Guardians of the Galaxy by being number 1 at the box office for 4 weekends in a row. Also, Dear Evan Hansen opened at number 2 with $7.4 million. So, Troy, what do you want to react to?
First, I'm gonna start off with I'm so glad Star Wars and Indoor Rap shooting. Like I felt like they've been shooting for like 2 years. Like that show, golly, man, that show ain't never gonna come out. But that's one I'm excited for. I can't wait.
Rogue One was good, but does Cassian Andor need a show though?
No, I listen. I 100% agree with that because when this first was announced, I didn't like the idea at all. You know what I mean? Like I want like new shows with new characters, and I don't like these spin-off shows. The only reason I got excited about it is when they did this little behind-the-scenes featurette thing, and it really like bringing spy espionage to Star Wars. And me being like a big fan of James Bond and these kind of characters that's like these, spy, I'm really into that spy thriller shit, and the way they kind of making it like this spy espionage type show, you know what I'm saying, where it's about secrets and hidden, things like that. I just like the idea of that for Star Wars. I didn't necessarily need it to be Cassian and Endor, but I ain't gonna lie, I'm just excited about the concept of it.
Yeah.
And so for right now, we ain't got a lot of shows, so I'm just desperate for Star Wars, even though this shit ain't gonna come out for a long time.
It's coming out next year. It says it's gonna be 12 episodes.
Yeah. So
hopefully early next year, but at the very least late next year.
Yeah. So I'm excited as hell for that. It's probably gonna be late next year if they just now got done filming. Filming. And then on top of that, I look at kind of how they dropping these shows. They dropping them all at the end of the year. Like. Yeah. Mandalorian all came out, both seasons December, yeah. And I'm thinking that the Book of Boba Fett this year is coming out December, so I'm sure this is going to be for December 2022. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that one.
All I know is if they're gonna do a Cassian Andor series, if he's gonna be like doing like a Rebels type series, like the Rebellion, I want to see him get his hands dirty. I want to see like a dirty, grimy,
him like kill one of his friends or something. Some kind of I want some shit like that.
I want him because like he was already like gray in the movie, and I just want to see see
more of that. Yeah, that's what I want to see too.
All right, we'll go ahead and let's see here. What else? Let's see.
And I also want to talk about Daniel Craig said he thinks Bond shouldn't be played by a woman. I 100% agree. I agree with him. Like Bond has never been a woman, and the reality is like there's certain characteristics about the character being a male that he needs to be a male to pull it off. Like him being like this womanizer, like. I just don't think that works for a woman being a manonizer. You know what I'm saying? Like
that was actually going to be what I was going to say. Is like when James Bond just seduces all these women during his missions, every movie a different chick.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it works whenever it's a woman doing that to multiple men. Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's sexist both ways.
Both ways.
So either you're true to the source material and she's fucking dudes, and then that's insulting.
Yeah, right. Her. It's gonna make it like, oh, she's a whore to get out what she wants for all these guys. Yeah.
And then if it did not do it, you're just gonna be like, well, what the fuck are you doing? What are we like? Are we trying to sanitize everything?
Right.
So it's like you can't win.
Yeah. And my thing is this: like, look, it's a lot of badass. You could make a badass woman. Lead character.
There was a movie called Red Sparrow.
Red Sparrow.
Yeah.
You had Atomic Blonde.
Yeah.
It's a movie out right now with Samuel L. Jackson in
it. Protege.
Protege, yeah. Like, so women, like, I'm not saying you can see this.
Women can be spies.
Spies and badasses, but not Bond. They don't need to be Bond. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What is the name going to be? Jesse Bond? Like, what the fuck? Like, so, we live in
Jeanette Bond.
Jeanette Bond, yeah. We live in such this cancel culture culture world that it wouldn't surprise me if he already apologized because he think he's gonna get canceled, you know. But like, no, that's real. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bond should never be a woman, and if they do make Bond a woman, I'm never gonna watch those versions. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's all I gotta say on that one.
Daniel Craig has said that he does not believe James Bond should be played by a woman. The debate over representation in the future recasting of the spy character has rumbled on for years, with some fans suggesting a woman could take over the iconic role. However, the idea has sparked a backlash from critics who either say it would do the character a disservice, or that there are better ways of improving representation on screen. So, in a Radio Times interview, Craig offered his opinion, and he says, there should simply be better parts for women and actors of color.
Yeah,
that's his take.
Absolutely, you know what
just
I'm saying?
Make a character for them.
Yeah, and they do the same thing, and I'm glad he said that because they do the same thing with black
Black Bond.
Yeah,
Idris Elba. Ooh,
what I'm saying about that is they always try to turn characters black.
Oh, right.
And it's just make a new characters that are naturally
Black Superman.
black.
Fuck yeah.
But they want to make Superman black. I just seen a cartoon where Jimmy Olsen is black in this new Superman animated series.
Perry White black.
Yeah, Perry White. It's like, stop turning characters black and just make new characters that are black. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's reverse race. It's almost racism in that way. It's like, oh, we need characters that's already famous or known to be turned black instead of creating new characters that can be black. So they do the same thing with black people, and they do the same thing with women. Like, oh, let's turn this person black.
They gender swap all the time.
Gender swap. Like, I hate that, man.
Like they both gender swap and race swap for. We talked about it on this very show or on the podcast. Doctor Strange, the ancient one.
Oh yeah, the ancient one. Yeah, it's
Tilda
like,
Swinton.
oh, I hate that I had Tilda Swinton. It's like it's one of these things that is getting out of hand, man, and I'm starting to get annoyed by it. Like, stop turning people women because we need more
representation.
Representation. Right? No, just make new women badass characters. Give me a more Atomic Blonde, even though I didn't like that movie, but give me just badass women characters. We don't need Bond to be a woman,
be validated.
Yeah,
that's actually what it is. It's like a stamp of approval.
Yeah, next thing you know, they're gonna be like, "No, we need Superman as a woman, Superwoman." Yeah, it's like, come on, man. So yeah,
fuck Supergirl. Like,
and the last one I was gonna address was Johnny Depp, and he says cancel culture. No one is safe. Not one of you. I agree with him. You know what I mean? I definitely agree with him. I hate cancel culture, but here's the thing that a lot of people forget, like, the way people have been getting canceled, like, anybody could get canceled at this point.
And no questions are asked.
And there's no question to ask. So your favorite actor, if it's Leonardo DiCaprio, who knows if a woman comes up and said, he used to be a player towards me or something. Nope, I guess we ain't getting Leo. Like, it's so bad that, it can happen to anyone. So if you're out there judging, like, he deserved it or blah, 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 well, just know that you could be next. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't take much. It could be a tweet you tweeted while you were drunk and you don't even remember the fucking tweet, and someone pull it back up, and now you can't host the Oscars or some goofy.
Talk to Kevin Hart.
Yeah, right.
And Kevin Hart is vanilla as fuck.
Yeah, so you know what I mean. So like, I just agree with that, man. I hate cancel culture. He's dealing with being canceled right now. I don't know if he's innocent or guilty, but that's the reality of Hollywood in this generation. So
yeah. Also, just want to say, like, as far as the box office goes, the current chart right now has. Shang-Chi, $4 million away from being $200 million. So that's going to be the first film in the post-pandemic era to hit 200.
And guess what? It was exclusive to theaters. And then
for
on
45
top of
days at that.
And here's the thing, though, like, not only was it exclusive, they chose a great window. Like what? There's nothing really been out that can even compete with it. Yeah, there's nothing where you like, it's just a bunch of lower movies with different demographics.
It was literally like the last movie of the summer. It was Labor Day weekend.
All
of September is kind of whack.
Yeah, so it just drifted, and it's also proven for the people that don't like the whole 45 days that no, like, movies can get money. You know what I'm saying? Like, 45 days is more than enough for movies to be in box office and you to see it multiple times. You know what I'm saying? I know someone that's seen Shang-Chi 3 times. You know what I'm saying? So you don't need the long extended, even though I prefer it.
You know what's kind of interesting is on Disney Plus, if you look at Disney Plus right now, you know how they have the featured banners where like you have Visions and all that stuff? If you scroll over, you'll see that Shang-Chi is already there. But it's got a November day. It's like gonna come on November
when it comes,
19th or whatever the fuck it was. And I'm like, I was a little mad about that because I was expecting it to come at 45 days. But no, they're not.
Yeah,
they're gonna do 45 days, and then they're gonna go on iTunes, and then they're gonna sell them. And then
I mean that's kind of smart because it's almost like what movies used to do with Blu-rays, where like it'd be a time where you can't even see that bitch because it's like in between, it's out of theaters and it ain't on Blu-ray yet.
Yeah.
But it makes you kind of fiend for it more a little bit. Like, damn, second this drop, I'm picking it up. So that might could create a little buzz for when it does. So
it can
drop.
it can chart on iTunes, it can chart on Amazon,
and
then make Blu-ray sales, and then in November, after those sales have died, Disney Plus. Which is like not what I was expecting. I was expecting Disney Plus at the day 46.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't do it like that though. That was really smart. You know what I'm saying?
So, anyways, I think that's it. I don't really want to react to anything besides. I just want to say like it's ridiculous. I mean, I knew about the Fast and 10 and 11. I think this is just more of an official thing, but like I like how they decided to like make it Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Deathly Hallows Part 2 out of this.
Hell no. I hate this idea. Listen, the main reason why I hate this idea, because most movies that do that is because the book is too long. But for the money, but the book is too long. It's too much of a scope to tell in one movie.
Yeah.
But the Fast and Furious movies,
it's not a book.
They be razor thin. The story be razor thin, and it's not based on any book. So you're doing it strictly for money. Like, instead of us making this, we can make this. Like, it ain't like a Lord of the Rings situation where they shoot it 2 films, or like one of the Harry Potter books or Hobbits, or it's not like that. It's just like for absolutely no reason. The stories, even the good Fast and Furious movies, it wasn't about the story. Yeah. So what story is so big that you need to cut a Fast and Furious movie into 2 halves? It's just strictly because of money.
Oh my God. You know what? I'm going to tell you this right now. The only way that this is going to work is if like Fast and Furious 10 is like Empire Strikes Back and it leaves on a cliffhanger. It has to be like this kind of thing. Where
that's probably what they're going to go for.
They need to lose. They need to lose.
That's probably what they're going to go for, or like at the end they just hit the moon and now they're like, oh shit, what's in here? Aliens. And then it's over. That's the only thing I can see happening, like, really.
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to check this out. So for Check This Out, we have 8 trailers, but we're not actually going to watch all of them because I actually kind of want to speed run through Check This Out. Not because, mostly because I'm not really feeling any of these trailers. So we'll sort of just talk about them and then we'll cut them off and then we'll move on to the next one.
So when you don't like them, we speed run them. If you like them, we'll be on them for bullshit.
No, you know what? There is one trailer that I liked and I was completely surprised by it. All right, first up, The Electrical Life of Louis Wayne. And this is an Amazon Prime video, or Amazon Prime movie, starring Benedict Cumberbatch. He has been making movies like all year long.
No, he got a lot.
He was in like a movie in January, like where he was like the spy.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
He's got a Western coming out on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
He's got this movie and another one. Like
that's Spider-Man.
And Spider-Man. Like what the fuck?
Man, he booming, boy.
Benedict Cumberbatch is in like goddamn everything. Like that's 5 movies. Like he's in
like
year.
Shit. I need some money. I need this money right now. Shit.
So, and what's really interesting about this movie is that it's shot with a 4:3 aspect ratio, which is
that's
like
that Justice League kind of aspect ratio. Yeah, that's the Justice League.
Why is this coming back? I don't need this in my life. When I'm on a TV, it's gonna be widescreen and whatever. So it says the synopsis reads: The Electrical Life of Louis Wayne is based on a true story following eccentric British artist Louis Wayne, whose interesting works helped him transform the public's perception of cats forever. And it takes place in the late 1800s to the 1930s, and it's on Amazon Prime, and it comes out on November 5th on Prime, but like late October in theaters, in limited theaters. So it's a very quirky looking movie, and he's a painter.
It does nothing for me, but I will say like the release window makes me feel like they got a shot at some Oscars.
Yeah.
Like, to release it in that
October.
So that kind of gives me faith that it might be good. It don't look bad. It just, I don't know. It doesn't do anything.
Yeah, no, this doesn't do anything for me either, but it definitely like is very style. Like I see a lot of style in this.
Yeah.
Especially with the costuming and the painting and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be surprising if this was a really damn good movie to me.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm probably not gonna watch it, but if I hear good things, maybe I'll check it out. But this trailer wasn't really capturing my attention at all. So next up is Licorice Pizza. This is the Paul Thomas Anderson movie, I believe. Is that his name?
Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson.
Paul Thomas Anderson. Okay, Licorice Pizza follows the story of Gary Valentine and Alana Kane while they are growing up, running around, and falling in love in San Fernando Valley. Written and directed by Paul Thomas Anderson and set in 1973, Licorice Pizza shows us how treacherous the journey of first love can be. Now, have you seen this trailer already?
Yeah.
What did you think?
I loved it.
Interesting. Okay.
The reason why I loved it is because the story it doesn't really seem like it does much, but I'm very interested in the story, and it's a story that only Paul Thomas Anderson would tell, because Paul Thomas Anderson is a very daring and controversial type director. He'll do shit, and it seems like, I'm not really certain, but it seems like this movie's about a kid actor and he starts liking an older lady. Like, she's like, I don't think she's a kid. I think she's grown. And I think the older lady starts to like the kid. And and like, you can't do that. Like, she's too old. Like, you can't be with her. So, and these kind of stories you see on the news a lot. Like, kids caught having sex with the teacher or something like that, and then you go to jail. So, like, it seems like a controversial story about, like, an older lady that ends up liking a boy that's too young. You know what I'm saying? And he's like a kid actor or something like that. And it just seems like an interesting story to me. So, like, the trailer as a whole didn't look amazing, but the story that's being told here is what's great. And the fact that it's Paul Thomas Anderson, one of the great American film directors of our time, it wouldn't surprise me if, and by the way, I read somewhere that Bradley Cooper is playing a real producer. He's a producer that
in real life,
and he produced Batman, Michael Keaton's Batman. And he produced, he was also a producer. I talked about a movie called The Death of Superman Lives, What Happens. Okay. And he was a very controversial producer in that, and why that movie didn't get made. And so he's a very interesting guy, because he was a hairdresser, and he became a big shot producer out of nowhere and doesn't know shit about movies, but he tried to tell people what to do. And he's a big reason why The Death of Superman was kind of a thing. So, if you want to know who the guy Bradley Cooper is, watch that, and you'll see that, like, he's a weirdo. So, and Bradley Cooper's playing him. So that's just amazing. I could see Bradley Cooper getting an Oscar nomination. And Bradley Cooper is another dude coming with strong shit. He had a movie coming out with Guillermo del Toro that we seen last week. Oh yeah,
he's having a bit of a peak.
Yeah, and now he got a movie with Paul Thomas Anderson in the same year. Like, these both can be Oscar contenders for him in the same year.
Oh yeah.
Like, damn, that's crazy.
He could be like best lead and best supporting.
Yeah, like Jamie Foxx did when he was with Ray and what was the other movie with Collateral. Yeah, so yeah, they could be a thing with him this year. So yeah, I'm excited.
What's really the only thing I don't like is that in the description it says it will release in select theaters on November 26th.
Yeah.
So I hate limited release movies.
Yeah. But see, a lot of these movies, they be limited release for the Oscars, and then they gonna get a bigger release.
Wide release in January.
After the fact. Yeah. So I hate it because me too. Because, like, I'm not gonna be able to watch the damn movie. You know what I'm saying?
All right, we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. And this is not a trailer. This is a clip. And so unfortunately, you're not going to be able to see the clip, obviously, but you're going to hear it or whatever. But really, it doesn't matter. The dialogue doesn't matter. It's really just like, it's a clip from Red Notice, and it's starring Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. And so, Ryan, I'm going to explain the scene.
Damn, Gal Gadot.
I know, she's
fucking bad. Oh,
she a baddie right now.
Oh, she a baddie, boy. You got to have her top 5 actresses in the game right now. Shit.
So, yeah, like, I guess Gal Gadot is there to steal the golden egg. and Dwayne Johnson is there to arrest her, and she's like, "Oh, you're gonna arrest me? Okay, well, you're gonna have to come in over here and arrest me." And so, yeah, basically, it's a fight scene. So they released a 3-minute fight scene on YouTube officially, and I was actually kind of like, it looks like the tone is right. Like I want to see this movie, but it's what's ridiculous is that in no way, in no universe is someone the size of Gal Gadot gonna win a fight against Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson, especially as big as Dwayne Johnson is. You know what I mean? Like it's a little unbelievable, but it is what it is. It's like she's overpowering him, and like like what the fuck?
Yeah. And they, and this their second movie together, so fights like this really depend on the chemistry and like in the story. Like if something's going on with a Rock, it's like, damn, I can't hurt her or something.
Yeah.
And maybe she's defending herself off pretty well. So it depends on the chemistry.
Look at it. Look. Oh, sorry. So Dwayne Johnson just hits the glass with his elbow. And
Ryan Reynolds tried to
do the thing, and he couldn't do it.
That shit's funny. But
Sorry,
they was in Fast Five together, so they could have some chemistry there. And and if it's depending on what the story is, maybe he can't really go at her like he would. But it does seem a bit ridiculous. So, but goddamn, she's so fucking hot. Even when she's doing fighting moves, she turning me on.
So. I'm gonna skip ahead on this fight scene, but there's this one there's one maneuver that, in no uncertain terms, should it ever actually happen. So I'm gonna just skip. All right. So right about here. All right. So like
she
that
flips
doesn't. She's like $120, like in real life, and Dwayne Johnson's at least 250, and so she picks up Dwayne Johnson and rolls her over her shoulder and just throws him down on the ground. That is highly unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous.
Like handcuffs them together, hits the handcuffs so they bump each other in the head.
Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous.
So, I like this movie, but it's also unrealistic. Just throwing that out there. And I'm no fighting expert either, but I can tell you right now, weight matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways, we'll go ahead and move on to the next trailer, Spencer. Now, I don't want to spend too much time about this because we already had a teaser trailer. This is an actual theatrical trailer, and it's the Kristen Stewart movie where she plays Princess Diana. And this is actually a real trailer because in the teaser trailer, all we had was just shots and music, and it was barely any spoken dialogue. Here, we actually get spoken dialogue, so we can actually see most of Kristen Stewart's actual performance and get a feel for it.
Yeah.
Have you actually seen this new trailer?
No, I haven't. But I really don't need to see it because I'm already like gun ho about this movie. I'm very excited. Kristen Stewart is a superb actor, like great actress. She's fantastic, and the movie looked like it's shot like a masterpiece. You know,
Oscar bait.
Yeah, it got that Oscar bait that you want to see, but it looked like it's shot like a masterpiece. So to me, hey, I'm excited for it. I'm already. This one of them movies like this year, man, is gonna be stupid in the Oscars. This is gonna be a crazy. Like it's funny because last year's Oscar, because of the pandemic, I didn't really give two shits about us talking about the Oscars, but this year. Man, it's going to be one of our biggest shows about the Oscars this year because it's a lot of contenders, and this is one of them.
All right. Spencer will be out in theaters in November 5th. November 5th, which is like something that we actually said November 5th earlier when I talked about, what was it, Electrical Life. So next up is Finch. Now, this is the trailer that got me excited. This is an Apple TV Plus exclusive. And Apple TV Plus, we talked about earlier in this podcast, like one of the early episodes, there was like an extra news item where like I reported that the Tom Hanks movie got bought out by Apple TV, like the rights or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was sold to them, and we were saying, oh, it's called Finch. Well, here it is. Mm-hmm. Finch, the first Finch trailer dropped, and it's starring Tom Hanks. And it's gonna, let's see here. It says that it's gonna release on November 5th. What is it with November 5th? Okay. The synopsis reads, a dying man builds a robot for his beloved dog during the post-apocalypse. So yeah, that's what it's about. It's he's by himself, he's living with the dog, and so he decides to just make a robot. And so that way when he dies, the robot can, help take care of the dog. So yeah, it's a post-apocalyptic world. This looks like very interesting. It's kind of like very Last of Us-esque because it's like they're going on a journey through a road and like during this dangerous journey and stuff like that, and like basically like there's so much crazy shit happening. They're outrunning people. There's a storm happening, twisters, lightning, all that other stuff. So yeah. I don't know if what you think of it. What do you think of what you see here?
I like it. I like the idea because it seems like it's a bit of a sci-fi movie as well, and it looks cool. Tom Hanks is, of course, a top 10, top 5 all-time great actor, so it's always good to see a Tom Hanks movie. I'm not big on the tornadoes and shit, but that's
like
the
he's
other...
like, oh, let me nail this thing down here to protect ourselves.
Yeah,
in a tornado.
but it seems like one of them self-contained, really good movies.
Yeah.
It reminds me of one of my favorite Ex Machina. One of my favorite sci-fi type movies in the last 10 years was Ex Machina, and it gives me an Ex Machina vibe, just in the sense, not that it's the same story.
A little Chappie vibe too.
I didn't like Chappie, but not that it is the same story as Ex Machina, but how it's a contained story, you know, and that's what it seemed like to me. So I'm very excited. It seems like if it does its job right, it should be heartwarming. You should want to drop a tear in this movie. So
I think it was Chappie because in the trailer, like since I actually saw the trailer, he's like teaching the robot how to like walk and stuff. And, And so I was like, it reminded me of Chappie in that.
Man,
sense.
another movie that seemed like it's gonna be good, man. November, December. Wow.
I know it's like very stacked.
Wow.
Next up is a Netflix movie in black and white, shot it with a 4:3 aspect ratio. It's called Passing.
I'm not excited about this one.
You've seen this trailer?
Yeah, I'm not excited about this one. A lot of people are, and I'm not saying that
It looks Oscar baity.
Yeah, no, it's Oscar baity, but it's too Oscar baity. Like it's the definition of Oscar bait.
And you don't like that,
It's the definition of like, let's do everything that the Oscars would like. You know, it feels.
Let's tackle race relations.
Yeah, it just feels like that. Like, and the thing is, once I see it, I could be completely wrong, and it blows me away. I'm not saying off the rip it's gonna be bad, but it just gives me that vibe of like they're going for an Oscar. Like some movies like can be Oscar baity because it's quality, and it's like, well, we need to drop this during the Oscar season. But this movie seems like, let's go for this Oscar. Let's say the stuff that's gonna get us the Oscar. You know what I mean? And that's why I get that vibe from this movie.
I think it's a little too on the nose because one of the things like it's like.
And Rebecca Hall's directing this?
Yeah.
What? And see, that's another thing. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, has she ever directed a movie before? I mean, she's an actress.
I know she's an actress.
Yeah, but so I don't know how I feel about her. She's a first-time director, but it supposedly went like getting a lot of award love, like Oscar love. So maybe it is good. And I always like when I could see something about black characters and stuff. So it is it's right up my alley in that sense. It's just I get the vibe of Oscar bait. So
yeah, Tessa Thompson, right? She's very light skinned, and basically the movie's called Passing because it's like her character is white passing.
Yeah,
it's like you're because she's like half.
Yeah.
And so what happens is it's a movie about race relations in the sense that she's,
and I like the concept of the movie.
She's like married or about to get married to a white guy, and like the white guy's racist, but she doesn't. I guess he doesn't know that she's half black. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So
it creates
and
problem.
I think it's very too on the nose when you're talking about like characters that are black and white and it's shot in black and white.
Yeah.
And it's like very pretentious.
It really, that's the problem I have with it. Like that's literally my whole problem. It feels that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is, again, I like the concept of the movie. I like the idea of black characters, involved in any movie. It's just I hate it
Thompson
when
is badass.
It reminds me of Will Smith's any Will Smith movie that'd be trash Oscar.
7 pounds.
But 7 pounds. That's
The Pursuit of Happiness.
No, The Pursuit of Happiness is honestly a good one. But the 7 pounds, exactly, you read my mind. I literally about to say 7 pounds. They make it seem so, and it's atrocious. The movie sucks. But it just seemed like.
What was that one with Collateral Beauty or something like that?
Collateral Beauty. That was his worst. That was his recent trash. But if you watch Collateral Beauty, the trailer, it almost makes you cry.
Yeah.
But then you see the movie and it's like, oh my God, it's so bad. That's how I get that vibe with this movie. But I hope I'm wrong, because if not, there go another Oscar contender.
Comes out on November 10th. And
Damn, what's up with November?
I know, right? A woman is reunited with a black friend who has been living her life as a white person. Okay, that's interesting. That's going to be in select theaters in October and November 10th on Netflix. And next up, The Harder They Fall. It's another Netflix movie starring Idris Elba and a bunch of who's names of black actors.
I've heard of this one. I haven't seen this trailer, but
We've seen a trailer before on the previous episode of the podcast, but this is a new trailer.
Okay, but why does it say trailer 1?
I guess it might have been a teaser then, if that were the case, if it was called teaser. It comes out on November 3rd. Again, that's basically November 5th. And it stars Zazie Beetz, Idris Elba, and Jonathan Majors. When an outlaw discovers his enemy is being released from prison, he reunites to his gang to seek revenge in this Western. Now, this trailer almost is like a music video because it's got like Jay-Z music playing, and then they have like a lot of beats happening, like a lot of actions that are like them pointing to the beat of the song. Yeah. So it's just like it's really I don't know I don't know.
I'm glad to see Regina Hall get some love, but I remember you said this gave you that Django vibe. And you liked it because of that. But I like to see Regina Hall. She's my favorite woman or one of my favorite women actresses. I love that she got that Oscar. Yeah. But like I said before, I don't know. You know, I don't know how I feel about this one either.
Interesting.
Yeah, because I mean, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know how to feel about it.
It's shot well.
I don't think it's gonna be bad. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but I don't know. But I'm glad that it's a Western though, because I like Westerns, but for some reason Westerns don't get love no more. We don't see a lot of Westerns like we used to. So I'm just glad it's a Western, and it looks like it's a lot of charisma. Everyone's black. And that's dope, you know, literally every single character is black. And that's fucking badass. Like, I love that, you know what I'm saying? Especially me being black. But I don't really understand the time frame. When in the past can everybody just be black like this, just doing shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's just dope, though, so I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
All right. Next up is American Underdog. And this is the last trailer, and it is about... Zachary Levi, he's famous for being Shazam. He is his character is it's a true story. It's one of those like what do you call it? What's that? The Blind Side, where it's like about
sports movie.
Yeah, it's a sports movie. And so his character is like an underdog. He's like, how do I put it? He wasn't drafted into the NFL, but he manages to get into the NFL after after not through college or whatever.
Yeah. He was a walk-on.
Oh yeah, exactly. So you know about this?
No.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, it's gonna come out on Christmas Day, December 25th. It stars Zachary Levi, Anna Paquin, and Dennis Quaid. And
I like the cast.
It's a good cast, and it almost kind of real talk though. After seeing this trailer, it feels like this trailer gave away the whole goddamn movie.
Oh,
just
really?
That's the topic of the show.
One thing I do like just seeing this trailer though, I like how the football games are shot. Cause one thing I hate about football movies, in particularly, like they always look so fake. Like it always look like someone comes tackle somebody, and it don't look choreographed how a real game look. And I like just seeing this how it's shot. But that's just a nitpick. I don't know if this is gonna be any good or bad. But
my favorite football movie of all time is Any Given Sunday.
Oh, I love that one. I got that one number 2.
You can't compete that one with that one.
I got Remember the Titans one, but I got that one right there at number 2. Any given Sunday is a masterpiece.
Flip them, man. All right, but anyways, it feels like they're going for that kind of feel of. I don't think it's Any Given Sunday, but it does remind me of like The Rookie. Mm-hmm. Which is also starring Dennis Quaid. Mm-hmm. But or like The Invincible, which is starring Mark Wahlberg. So it's kind of like those kind of movies. It's like one of those inspirational sports dramas. And that's it for trailers. That was a lot of trailers. And as always, the links to that will be in the show notes and in the description of the YouTube video as well. Anyways, we'll go ahead and move on to Netflix and chill. Netflix and chill. What's is where we do the charts for the top 10 things that are on streaming services, as well as giving you guys a recommendation of what to watch on a streaming service. We'll go ahead and just sort of speed run through these ones because I'm not really too excited by what we're seeing here on the charts. On the top 10 things that are on Netflix, Squid Game rose from number 2 to number 1 this week, so it went up the chart, which is very weird because, as a general pattern, things tend to fall week to week, not rise.
Rise, yeah.
So Squid Game is a number 1. I guess people were like buzzing about it or talking about it. It's like, yo, you need to watch the show. Number 2 is Midnight Mass, which is another show for Netflix. It's a Netflix original series. Number 3 is the Starling, which is the what's her name? A Melissa McCarthy movie. It didn't even open at number 1.
Man, that hoe didn't even start at number 1. That hoe, goddamn, lucky it gave top 5.
Number 4, My Little Pony: A New Generation. Number 5, the old Adam Sandler movie called Grown Ups.
That's random.
I know, right? Number 6 is Sex Education. Number 7, Coco Melon. Number 8, Intrusion, which we watched the trailer for. Check this out. Well, a couple of weeks back, where it was about starring Frida Pinto. I guess that movie opened. I didn't even know, but it came out on Netflix already. Number 9 is Monster Inside: The 24 Faces of Billy Milligan. And what's kind of funny about this is, like, we just watched the topic of the show for last week about how murder documentaries are like, we like the guy, the fake producers, like, we love murder documentaries.
Yeah, and
every time it happens.
Yeah, there you go. No. Yeah.
Number 10 is Clickbait. And for the top 10 movies on Netflix, so if you extract all the shows out and go straight to the movies, we have The Starling, My Little Pony, Grown Ups, and Intrusion, all rounding out the top 4. And then followed by number 5 is Vivo, number 6 is Safe House, number 7 is DreamWorks' Home, number 8 is Kate, which I need to watch. Number 9, this 1970s classic Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg. And number 10, of all fucking things, Go Corey Carson, Chrissy Takes the Wheel.
Jaws. It's crazy that Jaws made top 10. I always love to see classics in the top 10.
Yeah. So, what do you want to say? Anything you want to say about either of these Netflix lists?
Yeah, I just did with Jaws. Yeah.
Okay.
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony.
My Little Pony got some little Coco Melon. I'm gonna just bring up Coco Melon every week just cause it's legendarily in the top. You know what I'm saying? 10 and never goes out. And,
yeah. One of these days, we're gonna actually watch a clip of Coco Melon here on the podcast, and I'll put it on here. Top 10 things on iTunes. Number 1 is Free Guy. Number 2, F9, The Fast Saga, stays at number 2 from week to week. Number 3, Venom rose up the ranks.
Yep, it's getting closer and closer to that Venom. Let there be carnage.
Number 4 is The Green Knight. Number 5 is The Protege. Number 6 is Paw Patrol, the movie. Number 7 is Cruella. Number 8 is the Matt Damon movie, The Martian, from out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah, that's crazy.
Number 9 is Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins. And number 10 is The Forever Purge.
Wait, Protege, that's out? The Protege?
That movie came out in theaters, and
I
now
thought that just came out or was about to come out.
we talked about it on new releases like 45 days ago,
Really? So it been in theaters that long?
or at least 30 days for damn sure. But I think it's been in theaters since mid-August.
Oh shit! No wonder it's on iTunes now. Cause I was like, I thought, cause I maybe cause I just seen a trailer, or I seen a spot for it, like, and so I thought it was like coming out. But I guess they just
The Maggie Q movie came out a while back. It's been a minute.
Okay.
The top 10 movies on Amazon Prime. F9, The Fast Saga is at number 1. Number 2 is Candyman. Number 3 is The Protege. Number 4 is Venom. Number 5 is Don't Breathe 2. Number 6 is Free Guy. Number 7 is Respect. You got to put some respect on her name. Number 8 is A Quiet Place Part 2. Number 9 is Jungle Cruise. And number 10 is Stillwater.
Amazon. I ain't gonna lie. I like Amazon Prime's top 10.
Really?
Yeah, just because it's like, it's so much mixed shit, but it's still stuff that's relevant shit. You still got Stillwater. You got A Quiet Place Part 2 is still in there getting love. Don't Breathe 2 came out. I see why Venom's on there because, you know, like, I just like the variety of shit they got. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
Candyman, you know.
My recommendation for the week is going to be for the first time, like I did it for the first time last week was like, I'm recommending something on Disney Plus. Well, this time, I'm recommending something on YouTube of all things.
YouTube?
You can find something on YouTube. So, real talk, you can actually pay to watch movies on YouTube. You can actually, like, you know how you pay to watch movies on Amazon or iTunes? Well, YouTube has a service like that where you can pay like the $8 or whatever to rent a movie. Yeah. And so YouTube offers older catalog movies for free, like officially, not like some, like I uploaded a movie on bootleg and whatever. No, it's officially through YouTube through them.
That's crazy.
So
That's
if you find, my recommendation is The Truman Show. So if you find The Truman Show straight up on YouTube, it's got free 99 on it right there, and you can just watch it. So
That's dope.
let me try. I'm just gonna show you guys. I'm gonna say The Truman
You should
Show.
do it on there.
I'm gonna do it right here. I'm gonna do it right here. So look, right there.
Oh shit.
And actually, yeah, you're right. I could just do it right here on the YouTube
Yeah,
show.
so they can see.
So YouTube, I just go to YouTube and I just type in The Truman Show on the search bar, and then right there it says right there. Oh, there you go. Here we go. Free on there at the top. So yeah,
so that one just happened to be free?
yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of free movies like straight up through YouTube movies. They're older movies, and you can find them like kind of like a it's like a library. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
So there you go. You can watch The Truman Show. Watch the movie. It's a movie starring Jim Carrey. It came out in the '90s, and it's a classic movie. And he won the Golden Globe, and his Golden Globe speech cost him an Oscar nomination.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he won the Golden Globe. He went up on stage. It's like, I would like to thank the Academy, and like he was joking, right? But because of that shit, he didn't even get nominated for an Oscar that year.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's right. Because he was a comedian and all that stuff.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
That's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. I just want to throw that out there. But yeah, The Truman Show is about where his Jim Carrey's character was born into essentially a reality show. And like the producer, from off screen, he raised him because he calls the shots about who he talks to, who he hangs out with. He creates, like, he orchestrates a drama. He orchestrates like this life for him about with love interests and everything like that. And he lives in a fake manufactured town where everyone around him, all his friends, his coworkers, they're actors.
Yeah.
And so yeah, they have to be on script and all that stuff, and the producer's like talking to their earphone, like you say this,
Yeah,
whatever. You know
that's
what I mean?
just a dope premise. That was a dope concept.
I think it's relevant today. To tell you the truth.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I think
absolutely.
with smartphones and everyone always like vlogs themselves.
Vlogs, yeah.
Everyone like makes
reality shows these days.
Everyone makes themselves like the center of attention, right? So like it kind of makes sense, like that kind of interesting premise where like people would actually tune in to watch the Truman Show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's just fucking badass. That's a good recommendation right there too.
I know, man.
That's
you know
random.
what? I'm gonna say, fuck you, Troy. I be coming hard with recommendations week to week.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you don't be like, you
yeah.
be on some hoe shit. Man.
Yeah, and see the thing is, me and you are one. So your recommendation is my recommendation. So my recommendation for this week is The Truman Show.
No, fuck you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So you know what I mean. Everybody go see The Truman Show. That'll be it was a great recommendation. It was a great recommendation.
See, I want to see a day when you top me. I'm like, damn. You know,
Okay, yeah.
You're like, fuck.
Yeah,
You found a deep cut, like shit. You know what I mean?
For sure.
You know, but anyways, I'd be keeping an eye out and see what kind of like.
I'll be more consistent, you guys, with the recommendations when Louis more consistent with topic of the show. When that happens, then that'll happen. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I've been consistent lately. We've been on some grind, but we'll go ahead and move on. We're almost out of time, so we'll go ahead and move on to new releases.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
All right. So for new releases, it's very obvious that the pick of the week is going to be Venom. Like there is literally no debate. But we'll go ahead and read the new releases here. The Many Saints of Newark The Many Saints of Newark, a Sopranos story. A Sopranos story opens on October 1st in theaters and on HBO Max. The synopsis reads: young Anthony Soprano is growing up in one of the most tumultuous eras in Newark, New Jersey. Tumultuous eras in Newark, New Jersey history, becoming a man just as rival gangsters rise up and challenge the all-powerful DeMio crime family. Caught up in the changing times is the uncle he idolizes, Dickie Moltisanti, whose influence over his nephew will shape the impressionable teenager into the all-powerful mob boss, Tony Soprano. So what's kind of interesting is the film stars Michael Gandolfini, who happens to be James Gandolfini's son in real life.
Real life, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So James Gandolfini was Tony Soprano. So now his son is playing his younger version of himself. That's like some Black Panther shit right there.
That's badass.
Alessandro Nivola, Leslie Odom Jr., John Bernthal, Ray Liotta, and Vera Farmiga. Damn, that is a cast. Ray Liotta be on every gangster shit. If it's a gangster movie, put Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, or Joe Pesci.
Everybody know to get them. Yeah, them right there. Yeah, them right there.
The next up is Venom, Let There Be Carnage, comes out in theaters on Friday, October 1st. After finding a host body to an investigative reporter, Eddie Brock, the alien symbiote must face a new enemy, Carnage, the alter ego of serial killer Cletus Cassidy. The film stars Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, Naomi Harris, Reed Scott, Stephen Graham, and Woody Harrelson. Next up is The Addams Family 2. Comes out on October 1st in theaters. Hoping to get closer as a family, Gomez, Morticia, and the rest of the Addams clan embark on an adventurous road trip in a hideous and humongous camper. Now look at this voice cast. The film stars Oscar Isaac, Charlize Theron, Chloe Grace Moretz, Nick Kroll, Snoop Dogg, Bette Midler, Bill Hader, and Wallace Shawn.
That's a crazy
That's
cast.
like
That's
me all over the place.
That's
Like Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, with Chloe Grace Moretz.
Hey.
Like Oscar Isaac, little Star Wars action in there.
I know, right? That's interesting. And I like the trailer. Remember we watched the trailer and
Yeah.
there was like a cool ass moment that
And
we laughed
it's
at.
releasing at a good time because it's Halloween
Halloween.
season,
It's
you know.
October,
and
yeah.
Adam Family is a classic, so it's good that that's still getting love to this date.
Mayday comes out on October 1st in theaters, and we watched a trailer. I wasn't impressed by it during Check This Out a couple weeks ago. A hotel worker finds herself transported to another world where a war is raging and a clutch of young women lure men to their deaths at sea via radio transmissions. She soon realizes that she's not the killer they want her to be. So I don't know any of these actors, but okay, we'll go ahead and read it. The film stars Grace Van Patten, Mia Goth, Juliette Lewis, Soko, and Havana Rose Liu.
I think I know Juliette Lewis. I think she's an older actress that's been in a lot of 90s shit.
Okay. And Soko, I just looked it up because, like, why is it just one word? And Soko is like a French pop star. She's a singer.
Oh, okay.
So she's a big, and that's why she's like Madonna. You know what I mean? Like it's one word kind of thing.
Okay.
So next up, The Guilty. Now this actually, if I were to have two picks of the week, this would be my second pick. A troubled police detective demoted to 911 operator duty scrambles to save a distressed caller during a harrowing day of revelations and reckonings. The film stars Jake Gyllenhaal and features the voices of Ethan Hawke, Paul Dano, Peter Sarsgaard, David Castaneda, and Bill Burr.
Yeah, this was that trailer that we seen, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Halle Berry movie, basically.
Basically, yeah.
The public service announcements, Attack of the Hollywood Cliches, which is a comedy special starring Rob Lowe, is out on Netflix, as well as the anticipated documentary Britney versus Spears as of today. So I don't know if you know about that. That's like the Britney Spears situation.
Yeah.
They got a documentary about that.
Yeah.
That is definitely, like I said, Venom. I'm looking forward to that. I'll probably watch it in theaters this weekend. We'll have impressions for you next week.
My pick of the week ain't Venom though.
What?
It's Many Saints of Newark. You know what I'm
No,
saying?
you're lying.
No, I'm serious. Like I'm not excited for Venom at all. Like I'm on record stating that I've not been a fan of the first Venom.
Okay, you did say that. I remember that.
And then this Venom looks no different from that Venom. So what would make me like this Venom even more if I didn't like that?
If anything,
Venom?
it's just more of that.
Yeah. Like I don't be super excited for shit just because it's a comic book movie. Being the biggest fan of comic book movies that I am, I still feel like it got to be a good movie. I'm not just gonna be excited just cause. And
You don't strike me as the type that watched The Sopranos growing up, though.
nah, but it's for me based off this list of shit. I'm more excited about that than a movie that I think is gonna be bad. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, I would have at least given you like the benefit of the doubt if you said the Jake Gyllenhaal movie. You know what I mean?
Jake Gyllenhaal got that number 2 and Venom number 3. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like I'm not excited about the Venom movie.
Shit.
It's not rated R. It's fucking only like 2 hours on the dot.
Yeah.
I think even
2 hours.
Yeah, right.
The rumor was wrong. It was 90 minutes. The rumor was like, 88 minutes, and I'm like, it was wrong.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just not. The trailers do nothing for me. So, and to be honest, like I feel like they're hiding the movie from the critics. Like they're usually Rotten Tomatoes would have been had a score for this movie. They don't have no Rotten Tomato score yet. So they must have either not let the critics see it or they did, but have them embargoed. So anytime to me that's that's like a red flag to me. Like, oh, our movie's not good, so we don't want to show it. Let everybody see the Rotten Tomato score. That's to me what they doing. So
you know what? I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Like you do like a good gangster story, so I guess it would make sense that you would want to watch The Sopranos.
And they've been promoting the shit out of The Sopranos. They marketing wise, I think they've done a really good job with The Sopranos because I've been seeing a lot of Sopranos everywhere.
Yeah, fair enough. And also, you don't have to actually watch The Sopranos because it's a prequel. So you can literally go in there fresh.
And this might make me want to go back and watch The Sopranos. So.
Yeah, all right. So we'll go ahead and wrap up the show there and end it here. All right. It's time to end. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Ready Play Movies. Remember, you can reach the podcast by email at readyplaymovies@gmail.com or simply at readyplaymovies on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Chakalaka88 and Troy.
Bracy Troy 58.
Don't forget to subscribe, give us a review, and tell your friends about the show and all that good stuff. See you next time.